need that joy, 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 joy down in my heart to stay. Joy, 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 joy down in my heart to stay.
It's the Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O.
I suppose we should get going.
Yeah! Let's go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, hey, good morning, everybody.
Why does it feel like it's been a week even though we were live yesterday?
I know, right?
Is it because we were on location? What is happening?
Yeah, let's never do that again, okay?
Ever.
Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Live from the Dreamstyle Remodeling Star 88 Studios.
It's so good to be home.
Dex and Steve-O and our friend Amy.
Yeah!
What's
Gosh,
happening?
this is
everybody.
awesome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back to the show. Gosh, this is so awesome.
Yeah.
Good morning, guys.
Amy's
It's
like
good
our
to
best
be
friend.
here.
I know. Gosh.
Secret best friends.
And we never get to see each other, but we're still best friends.
But that's
Yeah.
cool. That's life. When you're an adult and you have friends
Right.
that you don't connect with for a while, but then you reconnect and it's like, remember like yesterday?
That's the best.
It's awesome.
Aren't the friends that get all, mad at you when you don't hang out with them?
Those are the
ones
single
you don't
ones.
want.
Those are the single ones in their 40s who never had kids because
Yeah,
they
that's
don't
a good call.
understand
Yeah, they
life.
don't get it. They don't get it.
Yeah, I
You're
You're
like,
totally
like, bro,
agree.
it's not that I'm dissing you. It's that I have 3 kids and school is starting and I got a freaking job. Who are you?
Oh, it's so
No,
early.
I
Don't
can't
yell.
go snowboarding
Gosh.
with you.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Get a job.
I know. I
mean-
bumped in. I'm at Whole Foods, and all of a sudden I haven't seen Dex. So when was the last time I saw you?
Yeah, it's been like 20 years.
Yeah, at least.
22 maybe.
God, it's been at least 20 years.
So many years.
And all of a sudden, Dex walks in to the eating area there at Whole Foods, and I was like, Dex, hey, hey, buddy.
Right?
Which is so
And we
amazing.
hugged each other, and then I went, and I think we hugged each other again, and then we stood in line to get food, and then we hugged each other again.
Dude, and he didn't even tell me he ran into you.
It was
I got
secret.
into work that next morning. I think it was the next morning, whenever it was. But I got into work, and all of a sudden, I just saw that you were like studying for like your nutritional degree of amazing, and was like, "Oh, I miss her. I'm gonna message her." And then all of a sudden, I'm like, "Hey, I'm totally messaging Amy," and he's like, "I'm talking to Amy right now." And I'm like,
It's
"Wait,
meant to be.
what?"
We were
it was
meant to come
that was it
together.
was incredible.
Yeah,
so I was
that's
like,
pretty cool.
"Oh, well." Okay. Well, I was talking to her, but I guess
Yeah.
you can
You
talk
guys are
to
both
her.
important to me. You know, my kids
That's
always
so
say
great.
to me, they always say, Mom, which kid do you like the best?
Oh, man.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
At this moment, you.
Yeah,
Yesterday,
exactly.
you.
Yeah, that's the way it
My
works.
mom, she actually posted this yesterday on Facebook. It was like a memory from a few years ago, and she was like, "Just super love my #1 son. I've loved him the longest." That's what she
Yeah.
always says. Like,
That's good.
She's loved me the longest because I'm the
Yep.
oldest. So because I was the one that was like, "Who do you love most, though?" But come on, let's be real. It's me, right? She's like, "Well, I've loved you the longest."
Probably
But,
a note to all parents, do not answer that question.
Ever.
Or
Right.
you'll all of a sudden be paying for therapy bills.
Yeah. You know
right?
what's tough is when you have like Steve-O, his youngest is 5, and then he has a 12
and 14
14-year-old.
Gosh.
So the 12 and 14-year-old are always gonna feel like
Brody's the favorite.
because he's little and they're
Right,
fun
they're
and
fun.
Oh, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what they keep actually pulling that card. They're like, "Psh, Brody gets everything. Like, if you're gonna, you buy him a toy, and I'm like, dude, don't start with me.
Yeah.
When you guys were little kids, this is exactly how life was. But all of a sudden, it's like a decade later, they forget, you know,
Oh,
like
for sure.
how they were treated when they were little. And it's like,
Yeah.
dude, listen, teenager. Just because you're not getting the car you want, and he's getting the $7 toy,
Yep.
back him off me.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Gosh.
Parenting.
Yeah.
Parenting constant.
Right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why I was excited for the show today, because I'd been thinking about having you back in studio and what we were going to talk about, because there's so many aspects of life. We were talking about like marriage and parenting, and then like off air talking a little bit about my back and my body right now and what's going on, and Dex losing all this weight, and there's so many aspects to life that we have to take care of. And we were saying, like, it's amazing how if you just kind of check out for a minute, it can all go downhill.
Yeah.
Like
And
all
fast.
Like
Right?
so
Really
fast.
fast.
And so we
Yeah.
have to be consciously aware and take care of those things. And so I was really, really excited you were coming in, 'cause
Yeah.
it's like,
Well, the only thing
Dude.
that what sparked it was Dex walked in, and if anybody says that like can see Dex,
I
Dex is
know, right?
half the size he was the last
Oh,
time I saw
stop
him.
it, guys.
So I
Dude,
walked in
you've
and I
lost
was like,
a lot of weight, bro.
a lot.
He
of
doesn't call me
weight.
fat
So
anymore,
I
that's
have
for
to-
sure.
Well,
He doesn't call you fatty
He used
anymore.
to bully me all the time about
No,
my weight.
I did
He doesn't do it anymore.
not.
Now
I
he's
don't.
kind of the chubby one.
Yeah.
He's the one who's putting on weight.
Dude, I've got like handles, and it's
so
like,
crazy. He's
Okay,
so
just
fat
for the
now.
record, Stevie, you're not chubby.
He's so fat right now.
okay,
Right.
I weigh more than I've ever weighed in my life because I haven't been able to like work out or do anything. And I know it sounds stupid, but I've been like really weird about my weight.
Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have called you fat.
No, you didn't call, hey, you didn't call me fat.
Well, men can
You
be
didn't
just,
call me
I've
fat.
realized as working with so many different males and females, men are just as insecure about their weight
Yes,
and their
Yeah.
bodies
That's
as
true.
women are.
Yeah.
Where we, like, all the magazines are like women and women's bodies and all, they're supposed to be perfect. But I think internally men struggle about what they're supposed to look like and what their bodies are supposed to be and what's perfect and what the women, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's interesting, right?
I've never dealt with it before, and then all of a sudden, like I shaved. I don't know. This is gonna sound so stupid because there was like
Maybe don't say it
like
on air then.
You're like I'm skinny like a rail, but like I shaved my beard off, and I used to have like a much more structured jawline,
Oh,
and I'm like, what
Is
is
it still
what
there?
is this? What is this little? What is this? I've never really cared about my physical appearance,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden I found myself like a few months ago going, what happened? I care
Right.
like a lot, and it's not great.
Right? The wrinkles start coming in,
Hey,
the gray
hey,
hairs.
hey, I didn't say anything about
He's
that.
40 now.
Okay.
He's
Yeah,
40.
boy, welcome to my world.
Yeah.
Constantly
What?
daily
Hey, I like
struggle.
You're
this.
over 40.
I like this.
You're
daily
over
structure-
40.
Daily structure.
Yeah,
I doubt it.
I'm okay,
Okay,
with
so let's
it.
talk about Dex.
Yeah.
I'm so young. I'm so young.
So I walk into Whole Foods, there's Dex, and right away I said to him, because he's not doing CrossFit right now,
Right.
and I said to him, how'd you do that?
Yeah.
Like that, have you talked about that on air? Because that's incredible to go from a place of, not feeling great.
Yeah. I was
You
in a
know,
dark place. I can say
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And not feeling great, not eating that great, kind of not where you want to be, to, and his response when I said, what are you doing? He's like, I just made myself start running
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
day. And I thought,
And he eats healthy too.
Yeah.
He won't say that he
I
ate
kicked off the year with no sugar and no gluten
remember.
for 30 days.
yeah.
And I continued it
It's just all
till
stuck.
now. Yeah.
I've been like
no
I'm the
sugar
worst.
at all. You're not doing any sugar.
Well, now I do maybe once, like yesterday. Jeez.
We had a Rebel
We had,
donut.
we had Rebel Donuts in McDonald's.
How sick
and it
were
was,
you?
Oh my gosh, I wanted to vomit.
Me
Everywhere
too.
was swollen.
Oh,
I
it was
just
the
felt
worst.
gross.
It was the
terrible.
worst.
It's
Yeah.
amazing when you get your body clean that you go and do like what they call a cheat meal.
Yeah.
And how
Yeah.
crappy you feel.
Yes.
Your body doesn't know how to digest it.
Yeah.
You're burping it up.
It's
you're,
gross.
You just feel like crap.
And the
you
other
know?
thing is your taste buds change as
Oh,
well. You start to
absolutely.
crave the veggies and stuff, and which is weird because that stuff usually is always gross. But then when you go back and you try the Big Mac meal, it's this doesn't taste right. This tastes weird.
It was
now."
gross.
So let me ask you, just for the listeners out there, did you have like a set I'm going to run Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to run every day. Like, what was your motivation? Were you like, did you do it for mental reasons? Did you do it for, to drop weight? Like, why did you all of a sudden just put on running shoes and start running?
I was thinking about this yesterday, how to answer that question, because I knew you were going to ask it.
It's because he couldn't run from his problems, so he just started physically running in
What's
life.
that? What's
Forrest
that?
Gump?
Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Dude,
I just kept running. It's as easy as that. I just kept running.
Dude, it's true. But like to a point where I don't even remember. We had staff development day, right? And it was on a day that he normally runs. And so he ran over the weekend on purpose because he knew he was going to miss a run day. And I'm like, who are you?
It's kind of
like,
weird.
All of a sudden, like it became this habit that developed and now it's like just a part of who Dex is.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think here's where it started. It started with at the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to do 30 days. I'm like, if I can do this, I know I can do 30 days without
Right.
touching sugar and gluten.
Right.
I know I can do it. Okay,
Yeah.
that's simple. All right, and after 30 days, I can go back to my lifestyle. I can do whatever, but I just really want to commit to 30 days to see how I feel and see what happens. So I did it. I accomplished it, and it was amazing
And
because
you felt great, didn't you?
I felt so good. I dropped a bunch of weight,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, let's do another 30 days. So
Yep.
I kind of kept doing that until it just became my routine and my normal way of living.
Right.
Well, I've always hated running. Always hated
dude,
running.
we used to
Right?
like at Bear
At Bear
hated
Canyon,
it. Yeah.
I'd be running, and Dex
No
would be
way.
like,
in the
Yeah.
back, just like angry,
Yes.
and it was like my
Hated it.
wheelhouse. I'm like, yes, it's the one thing I'm not terrible at. Oh,
So I basically I challenged myself to try the same thing I did with the 30 days at the beginning of the year. I challenged myself to do the same thing with running. I was like, all right, 30 days. I can do this.
what, like a mile? Or how'd you decide,
Um,
like, how far to go?
I pulled up, I got an app. It's Map My Run by Under Armour. It's a free app, and it'll track your progress. It tracks everything, your route and everything. So I found a route here by Calvary that I could go on. And so every day after the show at 10, I get my stuff on and I just go.
Mhm.
And I just started running. But I started out super, super slow as far as, I didn't push myself too hard.
Right,
I
right.
kind of kept the 70% rule in my head.
Yeah.
Where I don't want to really get sore. I don't want to push myself to the point where I break down because
Right.
if I get sore, I'm probably not going to go back the next day and work out. So I told myself if I can just run for 1 minute and walk for a minute, that's easy.
Right.
So I did that for a whole month where all I did was walk for a minute, run for a minute. That's all I did. And I'd go out for 4 or 5 miles. And every time.
no bigs, 4 or 5 miles.
Well,
That's
that's
really
where he started.
Well, the thing is, too, is I found podcasts and music. You got to find things that can engage you. But I found that it was that time that I needed for myself because I was going through such a dark time in my life that it was time with God. It was just time to get away from everything, time to get away from work.
Yeah,
you
time to
know,
get away
because
from me.
after 4 hours of doing a show and you're giving like all of your energy,
Yeah,
you're
totally.
you're pooped.
Drained.
You're
Yeah.
pooped afterwards. So
Yeah.
going on that run walk kind of energized me when I came back to work.
Mm-hmm.
After a month, I was like, all right, let's kick it up a notch. So I would run for 2 minutes, walk for a minute.
Good for you. That's
And so I would continue to do that, and I
good.
saw that I started feeling better, and I was
Yeah.
getting faster, and my times were getting better. So I just kind of kept raising the bar. All right, let's try 3 minutes, walk for a minute, or let's walk for 30 seconds. So I
Right.
just kind of listened to my body, but I always kind of kept the 70% rule in my head where I don't want to push myself too hard,
Yeah.
and it might take a little longer to. To reach those I guess
Goals or whatever.
that you want.
Any water,
Okay,
buddy?
thanks.
Okay. Okay.
And also, have you tried these yet? Zevias.
He's
They
like,
say
I don't drink
too-
sugar,
They
but
say-
it's fake.
You know, all I
Coke.
can
It's so
keep
good.
thinking about is, you know how they say building healthy habits? So
Yes.
how do you build a healthy habit, right? You know, it's always like, what do you have to do? If you just go, because if you say, okay, no sugar, I'm going to exercise every day for an hour, I'm going to do this, like people get overwhelmed and they don't continue
Exactly.
to do
I was
it.
like that for years.
But think about it.
Yeah.
Anybody can do anything for a minute.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So let's say 1 minute on one. That's like,
Yeah.
you know, you should sell that as a 1
Well, I just think,
Let's
think
do it,
about
Amy.
this.
You want to invest in it?
I wish the church would do this more. Like, honestly, think about our spiritual lives and how we get overwhelmed because you come to Jesus filthy and messy, and there's like childhood trauma and messy relationships and terrible habits, whether it's like eating or a drug addiction or alcohol or whatever it is in your life, sex, whatever, like that you're just like, this is what I need. And then you come to church, and then I think a lot of people immediately go, I have to rid myself of literally everything in this moment. And then you're like, okay, no drinking, no cussing, no sex, no this, and then all of the horrible things as this broken, filthy person, and then you get overwhelmed because it sounds impossible, which actually it is on your own. Scripture says so. And then you just kind of fall off, and you're like, I can't do this.
Yeah, you do it for a week,
Yeah.
and
Right?
then you're like,
and then you're
I
like, I
can't do
can't.
this.
You're like, I got to read my Bible for 7 hours every day. I've
Yeah.
got to, and like, I love the way that you worked into it. Now, obviously, like, if you're doing like harmful, crazy, stupid things, yeah, you should cut that out. But what I'm saying is, it's like this journey. Like, we're working out our faith. Like, till we die, we're going to be working it out, our salvation. Like, we're just going to be going through and trying to, and we're cutting this out and we're doing that. And as we grow, like kind of how you did, it's amazing that you were like, I'm going to do this minute on, minute off, minute on,
know,
minute
I love
off.
it.
And like,
I love that.
and it's transformed everything. Because seriously, when it's run day, I know like the show ends and I see him grab like gym shorts and walk away, and then he'll come back like an hour later, just drenched in sweat, like, okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
And he's like energized, and it's different, and it's been amazing to see.
Well, and it didn't start out like this when I first started running because mentally I wasn't strong enough mentally to push myself. Because like walking for a minute and running for a minute is easy. Like you said, anybody can do something for a minute.
Yeah, but what a great way to start.
It was a great way to
Right?
start.
Great
But
way to start.
now after almost 3 months of doing this, when I feel just like crap, when I feel like I don't want to do it, I mentally just do it.
Right.
Like I'll be out on a run, and the first mile, I'm like, oh my gosh, my body, I can tell I didn't eat good yesterday. I'm tired. And so I could turn around after a mile and go, all right, that would be 2 miles. That's pretty good for today. But no, I keep going, and I just keep going. I push myself past that. You know, it's like just getting over a wall kind of, you know,
Right.
once you get over the wall,
Right.
once you go another mile, you feel so much better. And you're like, I can go another mile. And then if I turn around right now, I'd be at 4 miles. It's amazing. And that's another funny thing is, I would just keep running. Just keep running.
You are Forrest
I
Gump.
would. But then I would realize, oh my gosh, I'm 3 miles down. I have to go back. That's 3 miles back. So I almost made myself just go as far as I could because I knew I just would have to come back. And
then
that
sometimes
helped.
walk, like sometimes
Sure.
you'd come back and you'd walk it
Yeah,
instead of
yeah.
running it the whole time. And the other thing that's fabulous is just like to those little steps, like I wrote down when you said, okay, I made the decision. I'm going to do 30 days, no sugar. Well, from a lot of listeners, they're like, how'd you get through day one?
Right?
You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
people immediately are like, how did
or-
you get past joint pain? How did you get past, like, people are already, like, asking questions, like,
Yeah.
because we have all of those.
Well,
day one
has,
excuses.
everybody has different health issues
Yeah.
and problems.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would go to a doctor first to make sure you're okay. You know, because
Right,
you don't want
right.
to hurt yourself.
Right.
The 70% rule really resonated with me because I didn't want to injure myself.
Right.
Because if you push yourself too hard and you injure yourself, then you're just out.
Then you're out.
And then
Yeah,
you just feel like you're defeated and
Right.
it's hard to get back into it.
Right.
So that 70% really was it for me. It worked for me.
Right.
Because I didn't want to push myself too hard. And still to this day, after almost 3 months, I still kind of use that 70%. If I feel like my knee starts to hurt a little bit, my ankles start to hurt a little bit, I back off. I don't
Right.
push through the pain. I'm not.
Right.
I'm not an athlete. You know, I'm not playing professional
You know, it's
football.
so funny because you are an athlete. You know, you are. I think anybody that gets up and moves their body
Yeah.
in some category, well, you might not be an Olympic athlete, but you're moving your body and getting yourself healthier. And so you kind of are an athlete.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I've got to ask you this. So, because I always go back to sugar cravings, right?
Right?
Because that's the biggest thing. So you went from, I mean, eating donuts, eating
Yeah, dude,
McDonald's,
right?
us fighting about not eating at McDonald's.
Right? My
Yeah.
whole life I've ate sugar. My whole life I've never
Yeah.
I've
So-
never detoxed for 30 days off sugar.
like, what made you just make that decision when you craved it? Because a lot of people out there, you know, I'm finding in working with clients and everything,
Yeah.
a lot of people emotionally eat. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to eat really clean. Okay, I just found out that I lost my job. Okay, I'm going to eat a box of donuts. Right? It's true.
Right.
I just found out that I have a bill. My
Yeah.
sewer's down
Yeah.
and I've got a $500 bill and I can't pay for it. I'm
Yeah.
going to go drive through McDonald's and get a shake. By
Yeah.
the way, an average shake is 700 calories. I just
Oh my gosh.
I just looked that up for a client. She was trying to figure out her weight, all of her calories, and I said, well, let's just put in. You know, it was a restaurant here where she got nuggets and she got a milkshake, and I was like, well, you're at 1,400 calories
Oh
for that
for,
lunch.
for one meal.
So maybe don't have the shake fries and the chicken nugget.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right? I mean, I was just
That's
like, but how do
crazy.
you, like, what made you make the decision and have the strength to say, today, I'm not going to eat that sugar?
Well, first it starts with, I think, educating yourself. And I was watching tons of documentaries, podcasts, and just learning about the food industry and what an evil thing the food industry is.
Right?
And how corrupt it is over
Yeah.
Netflix
money.
saved his life.
Netflix saved my life. Yeah. And I think if you can educate yourself.
Were you listening to those while you were running?
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah. Dude.
And even before I started at the beginning of the year, last year I was learning a whole lot, and so it was changing the way that I looked at food, and it made me realize, oh my gosh, I was lied to my whole life. The whole food pyramid thing is
a lie.
a lie.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
yeah. And so you learn and educate yourself on that, and that's going to help change your mindset, and then realize, okay, I can change this. Whenever I'd go to fast food, I'd feel guilty. I didn't
Right.
want to be there, but I was there because either it was, cheap with the dollar menu, or it was just convenient and
Right,
fast.
right. Were you accountable to anybody or just yourself?
Just myself.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Well, I just think that's really hard.
You have
for
to find your yes. You got to find your why.
Yeah.
Why do you want to do it? And sometimes, I mean, it took me a long time to get to this place, where I was like, I have to do something.
Right.
Well, and
Sick of it.
I think sometimes when we're in our darkest, like seriously, when we're in the worst, I don't mean this negatively, because we as the church need each other, like, for accountability and to kind of be a wall for something, like, hey man, let me hold you, let me help you up, and let me walk you through this. But I think when we hit certain places, sometimes we realize that apart from Christ, like, what do we have, right? Like, naked I came into the world, and naked I'll leave, right? Scripture says, and you start thinking about, like,
God,
like,
that's
what do I
beautiful,
really,
right?
like, right?
God.
So it's like, well, what do I
Yeah.
really have? What can I really depend upon? Because, like you're saying, all of a sudden you lose the job, or all of a sudden there's this crazy, overwhelming bill that you have, or also all of a sudden you realize that your relationship that you had with your spouse or whoever, like, isn't what you thought it was, or all of a sudden, like these things can hit. I mean, for me, it was it was a car accident that I can't really talk about, unfortunately, but like, it was a really bad car accident. All of a sudden I realized that I didn't have my health. I didn't have what I took for granted. And it can, I think, propel you to a different place, because you start to understand, okay, well, what is real? What is truth? What can I lean on? And I know for you, it was just like, well, I've got the Lord, and I've got
The Lord.
yeah. Yeah. And that was kind of
Right.
it. Like, it was
Yeah.
like, I'm just,
Yeah.
and so, like, walking was just kind of like, or running was that, like, means to, like, be alone with God, because you could depend on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was just like, man, I was so proud of you when you started that, and, like, still continue to do that. Like,
Yeah.
it's incredible to me.
Thanks, man.
Because
Yeah.
it's unreal.
And, to answer, the person who texted in about, how did you get started with, if, I have joint pain and all that stuff. You just start walking.
Yeah.
Just walk.
Right.
Don't even think about running. You don't
Right.
have to do the 1 minute walk, 1 minute run.
Yeah.
If your body feels fine, try that. But
Yeah.
just walk. Do a power walk.
Yeah.
Start
Dude,
there.
Even
I say
just
that
being
to-
in nature. Sorry. Like,
no,
like,
yeah.
for real. Like,
Yeah.
just
Going for a
baby
hike.
steps.
oxygen, and, like, seriously,
Yeah.
it's really the sun.
Right.
Like, everything's really, really good for your body.
And it's good therapy. I
It
think
is.
getting out of, like, just being in a building or being around friends and just having alone time.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us resist it and we don't do it, but having that one-on-one alone time and having that one-on-one time with God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you can kind of say, oh my God, I haven't spoken to you in 3 months. Hi, are you still there? I mean, I find myself doing that. Oh my gosh, I probably need to, and it gets overwhelming. I probably should read this Bible, and I should do this study, and I should go to church on Wednesday nights, and then I should go on Sunday nights, and then I should, talk
Women's
to all my
ministry,
kids.
and then I need to go to the
And you get overwhelmed, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to shut the door, and I'll talk to you every once in a while. And then you don't. It's just like your health doesn't get better if you don't take care of yourself physically. Your body doesn't get better if you're not eating well. Well, if you're not praying, your spirituality doesn't get better.
Yeah, your relationship with the Lord suffers.
Yeah, right?
Yes, it does.
And I think we can all get through life, and maybe I shouldn't really say this, but you can all get through life without having a relationship with God until you realize you don't have a relationship with God.
Right.
And then you're like, oh my gosh, I miss that.
Yep.
I miss that connection with somebody that's so much more powerful and stronger than I.
Yeah, no,
You know?
absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Are you kidding me? Because I think a lot of people find themselves there, and not even necessarily people who are disconnected. There are people who are sitting in seats every single week after week after week, that are still just as disconnected from the Lord.
Right.
Because they don't have a personal relationship. Because it's just a ritual thing that they do. That it's like, well, we're just going to be here on Sundays. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to raise my hands during worship. I'm going to go through the lesson. But then the second they walk out the door here, Bible closed for another week. And they don't take the time with the Lord. They don't talk to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's all important. Don't get me wrong. But
Right.
I think that one-on-one, like actually talking to the Lord and resting, getting back to that, like, dude, Psalms talks about the fact that he maketh me lie down beside still waters, because we're like, go, 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 go. And we just aren't even thinking about anything else. And he has to go, hey, stop. Kick it with me. Like, just chill. Like, it's okay. Slow down. I get it. The kids have sports or this activity or school, and you've got a job and your business this, and so in relationships that, and we can get so choked out by everything else that we forget the most important relationship. And so, yeah, man, seriously.
And I like the idea of like not getting overwhelmed with your relationship with God, but also looking at it as, I'm going to take, I mean, it sounds such like a little amount of time, but I'm going to take a minute. I'm just going to close my eyes and I'm going to connect with God for a minute. You know what I mean? Like if you could take everything for a minute, you know what I mean? I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to think about what I'm going to put in my body to fuel my body today. I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to walk, and then I'm going to, you know what I mean? Like piecing it together a little bit at a time versus being overwhelmed with all the demands we have in this world to be perfect or be what society tells us that we have to be.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, all of us would hide in a closet, don't you think? Right?
Seriously. I mean, that's how I gained so much weight. You know, I'd hide in the room.
Yeah.
And just binge watch or just go to sleep and just be depressed.
I remember,
you know, and you just gained weight, and it stinks because it doesn't. This is what I hate about the whole body physical thing, is that it's so easy to put the weight on, but it's so hard to take it off.
Yeah.
Like, why can't it be just as easy to take it off? But it's not.
It's not.
You know, like
But it's not
seriously
easy
can
to put it on. Well, it is, but it's a process. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how I put on this extra 10 pounds. Well, I started eating ice cream 3 nights a week, you know, where I wasn't before. And slowly that weight just starts to pile on, you know, if you're going through McDonald's every single day, you know, I guess you could put it on super fast too. But, you
I'm
know?
so glad it hurt yesterday. I'm so glad those donuts in McDonald's seriously hurt me.
Yeah.
Like, I was just crampy for hours going, okay, good. I don't eat terribly all the time. This is the worst thing I've ever done to my body.
Yeah.
It was awful yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
so
Definitely
gross.
your body, once you get clean, it's super hard to kind of like be like, okay,
which
I'm
is
gonna
good
eat.
though. I mean, that's again, it's like a parallel to our spiritual lives, because when we're walking and we're actually in the Word and we're developing a relationship and we have better habits and we're in church and we've got accountability, when we blow it, it hurts, right? And it feels gross, and you're like, oh, I don't want to do that again, as opposed to like just kind of living and doing whatever you want. Like, you kind of get numb to sin and life and whatever, and you just kind of find yourself in a hollow, empty place, because you're like, well, I'm so used to doing this that I'm just going to continue in this crap, you know, like, and you're just in your filth.
And you're in this roller coaster.
Yeah.
You can't get off this roller
man.
coaster.
So,
this feels good. I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to drop down. That feels horrible. I feel horrible about myself. I'm back up on here. Okay, I'm going to do this. Then I'm thinking. And I love what you said, Dex, about which I think everybody should kind of ask them, what is my why?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's a coach at our gym that I love, Rob, and I was talking to him about my fitness goals and competing and not competing and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, and I said, I feel like I get in it and I'm doing really well. And then he said, because if you figured out what your why is, like, why do you want to do it?
Yeah.
What are your goals? Like, why do you want to eat better and lean out? Or why do you want to compete? Or why do you want to do that? So what is your why?
Yeah.
You know, why do you get up in the morning and pray every morning? What is our ultimate goal, right?
Right.
To feel closer to somebody that's
Yeah.
stronger than I don't know, or you know,
Yeah.
why?
Why? Yeah. Why are you
Why
doing
are we
it?
doing this?
Yeah.
You know, and then you could ask yourself, why are we sabotaging the goodness in our life?
Yeah.
You know, if all of a sudden you're doing things that make you feel good and you wake up in the morning and you feel good about yourself and you're motivated, but then all of a sudden on a weekend, you know, the weekends a lot of people fall off.
Yeah.
You know, why are we allowing ourselves to fall down?
Yeah.
You know, is it self-sabotage? Is it because you feel motivated and you feel really good, so that feeling really good feels too good, so we want to put some bad in there? I don't,
Yeah,
what
I
is
know,
it?
I don't
You know?
get it.
Why
Yeah.
do we have good habits, and the good habits make us feel really good?
Yeah.
You know, I had a great example of this is I had a woman come up to me the other day at the gym, and she's like, hey, listen, I want to cancel my membership. And I said, really? Why? And she's like, I don't know. I love it. Oh, I love being here. I love how I feel. You know, I'm stronger, but I think I need to cancel it. And I looked at her and I said, listen, if you need to cancel it, let's cancel it.
Yeah.
But you just told me it's
Right. Like,
Yeah.
You just said
you
how
just
much you
told
loved
me.
it.
And she stopped for a minute. She goes, you're right.
Yeah.
And she said, part of it is that I am taking time away from my children and I have guilt. And I said, it's 1 hour,
Right.
3 days a week
Yeah.
that you are increasing your heart rate and
Bettering herself.
bettering
For
yourself.
her kids.
So, and she looked at me and she said, she was doing month to month, and she said, I think maybe you should just sign me up for a year, so I'm committed.
Wow.
And I said, yeah.
That's cool.
Like,
Yeah.
why do we give up stuff that makes us feel
I
good
know,
or makes us,
right?
or that's healthy.
That's
Not
healthy.
that
That's-
makes us feel good.
I know, right? I know.
Yeah.
You
Because
know?
that's dangerous.
Right.
But you're right. No. That's
Yeah.
true because sometimes the gym's hard. Sometimes it's not fun in that hour, but you know you're
Yeah.
working towards something because I know for me, when I lost that ability, it was something that was taken and I'm going, dang, dude, I recognize that I need that because it helps me mentally, not just
Yeah.
physically.
Yeah.
And then it helps at home when I'm dealing with children or a spouse and
It's a stress reliever.
It really
They
is.
said, I read an article the other day, they said that physical activity is better than therapy and not better than therapy, but helps so much with depression and anxiety. There's so many benefits for it and
Yeah.
so many people resist it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like you said, just if you go out for a walk. I'm not talking about joining a gym and working out 7 days a week. I'm talking about putting on some sneakers and moving your body for
Yeah.
30 minutes,
Yeah.
you
Move
know?
it, yeah.
Yep.
And then start setting some goals, you know?
Right.
Like one thing was right away I had a couple friends hit me up and they were wanting me to, hey, let's do a half marathon. And, you know, because they would see I was running 5-6 miles. They're like, let's do a half marathon. And my whole thing was this year in 2018, I'm not even going to go there.
Right.
I don't want to put any pressure on myself.
Yeah.
Because if I put any pressure on myself, I might just quit. I might.
Right,
I don't know if I
right.
will, but I don't want that. I
Right.
just want to, I want it for myself. I want to just go out and run for myself.
You know, every time you're talking, Dex, I keep thinking somebody carried you through this because, you know what I mean?
It
Like,
was Steve-O.
Oh, shut up.
I mean, God carried
no,
you through
it
this
was the
because,
Lord, man, for
because
real.
seriously, because, you know, to be able to say, if I do this, I might stop.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do that. If I don't put on my sneakers after the show every day and do this, I might fall off.
Yeah.
I mean,
did it so
somebody
many times.
carried you. Yeah.
Well, I did it so many times. I
Right.
failed over and over and over again. And finally, it was like, enough, man. Like, figure it out.
I think that's another, like, it's so funny how all this parallels our spiritual life because I think about parents out there who are listening who have the teenager that they're just like, when are they going to figure it out? And you were told about 1 billion times how to
Right.
try and figure it out and were like, quote, forced to try and figure it out. But it wasn't until you saw and made a conscious decision yourself, hey, for me, for my well-being, for my
Right.
spiritual, my physical, my mental, I want to do this. And you did it.
Mhm.
And now you're just doing it.
Yeah.
And it's just working.
And it's weird. I could say I love running.
Right.
Like, that's
But I
so
think-
crazy.
but I think so
Wow.
often, like-
What is that?
Don't you think you should put like a bing, bing, bing thing?
Right? I think so often we're like trying to force everybody else to be where we're at, like
Yeah.
spiritually or mentally or physically, like,
right.
and we're putting these things, these
Right.
weights on other people that maybe like seriously, analogy, thinking back to Bear Canyon and like you and I when we would partner up for like like back squats, like,
Right.
and I'm like trying to pull off all the weight because you could do 2 or 3 times what I could do. And I remember I used to get so frustrated, and then I remembered I'm just not there. I don't have tree trunks like he does.
Right.
I cannot
Everybody's
do
different.
this. But people will try and put that on you. And I mean that mentally, I mean that spiritually. Like, how come you can't just kick that?
Mhm.
How come you can't do that? How come,
Right.
why are you still falling here? What is going on? And instead of doing that, if somebody would just go, hey man, I want to come alongside you because I love you
Right.
and I want to see you grow. And I get that you're not going to get it today, maybe tomorrow, but let's try and work towards it.
Yeah, man.
I think that would go a long way for people who are struggling in any area of their life. Seriously.
I totally agree. I mean, you can't. I mean, you've had friends that I've had friends that have had friends that with drug addiction, and they're always like, God, they would just stop if they stop, and nobody stops until they hit their own bottom.
Right.
You got to stop on your own.
Yeah.
No amount of counseling or treatment programs or accountability. I mean,
If
don't
your
you,
heart is not in it, right?
yeah,
if you
don't
do
you
not want
internally,
to,
we
yeah.
have to be. This is
You
our
have to make
journey.
that decision.
We can have families and we can have friends and we have our work and we've got everything. But at the end of the day, I love that. I wrote it down. Naked I came into the world. Naked I leave the world.
Yeah.
Like we are who we are. This is
Yeah.
us.
This is what you got, and
and we're responsible for every single thing that we do and every choice we make.
Right.
Yep,
Right?
we are.
Mhm.
We are.
Yeah,
Yes.
you got to find your why. You got to find your purpose.
Yeah.
And that everybody's different. Everybody's different. And if you're listening and you heard the way that I do it, and you're like,
Yeah.
you know what, I want to try. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. But you gotta try different things. I think the lunch hour at work is the perfect time to go work out. Because after work you're
How long
usually
does it take you to
exhausted.
eat some food and throw some food in your mouth?
Right after you go for a
Yeah.
run or a walk for your lunch break, then just eat real quick, go
Yeah.
back to work.
Right.
You're probably not going to go work out when you get done at 5
Oh,
o'clock.
people are so tired.
Or some people can, some
Yeah.
people can't. But
I mean, our gym is packed. 4:30, 5:30, 6:30,
Sure.
it's packed. 5:30 in the morning, it's packed. And our lunch hour is packed too. So, I mean, people, whatever
gotta find
works.
what works for you.
Whatever works,
yeah.
exactly.
You got to
yeah.
you got to be willing to try different things. You
Yeah.
know.
Hey, we got a
Yeah.
shout out from Daniel and Taylor Ranch. Said listening to you guys this morning talking about changing your life is confirmation that I need that right now. Thank you so much for being real.
No, that's cool.
We got a lot of people chiming in actually, which is really great. CSB 1237 on YouTube said, "Parent to teens, this is where I am, man. Awesome words, Steve-O." I think it's so true. I love being able to just hang out and be real,
Yeah.
and talk about life and health
Yeah.
and because so many parallels with it. Like it's amazing how we're created, how God like put us together, mentally, physically, like physiologically, like everything, and seeing how it all kind of works. And if anything, it should make it a little easier, I think. Like if we have one element down, whether it's running or figuring that out, then if we use that same model that worked to get us in physical shape, why not do mental exercises or why not do spiritual exercises, things that like, okay, well, this is how it worked for me today. 1 minute of running, 1 minute of walking. Maybe it's a minute of praying, a minute of reading my Bible, digging into a verse, and just kind of maybe it's memorizing a verse that's like, this will be my verse for the day. I'm not going to read a chapter or a book of the Bible today, but maybe if I just write this verse on my heart.
Yeah, I love it.
Dude, I got this app.
I love it.
I got this app that it's the Bible Is app. And you can
What is the app?
It's called Bible.is. It's just the Bible app. And I have like 3 alarms that I wake up to every morning, right? But the final alarm, when I know like, hey, this is when I need to get out of bed, you can set the verse of the day. Like you can set a verse of the day to hit your phone at any given time.
And it says it?
And it and so it's a different tone. So I get like the crazy alarm, and then all of a sudden when I get this like it's just this little chime, I know, oh snap, that's my verse of the day, which means I have to get up. And it's literally the first thing I look at. Now, I'm not saying it's like, oh, I'm so spiritual now because I get it. But like Literally, I woke up this morning kind of groggy, kind of grumpy, wasn't sure what the day was going to hold, and literally grabbed my phone, and the very first thing I read this morning was, rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say rejoice. That was my verse of the day, Philippians 4:4. And it was like, all right, man, today I'm going to purpose to be stoked. I don't care what happens today. Like, I'm going to try and have a good attitude. I'm going to try and remember that I am like so blessed beyond measure, living it, like just simply living in America, healthy family, you know, stuff like that. Just trying to rejoice on those things. And that seriously started my mindset today. And it was like, okay, all right, rejoice, rejoice.
Yeah, rejoice in
even
the
when the
tough
coffee
times,
maker's
man.
not working. And
Resistance builds strength, you know? Like, that's what you got to remember is, you know, through those tough times with resistance in life, you're going to become better. You will, if you can push through it.
Don't you think though, when people are really down, like really, really down, and they're curled up in a ball in bed, that they can't? It's so hard to see that.
Yeah.
It's so hard to see.
Well, you've
that.
given up. You've given up, and that's where I was for so long. I just gave up, and I wasn't willing to push through that resistance. It's like working out or running, you know, doing a CrossFit workout. You know, there's resistance. It's hard.
Right.
But you see results if you can just keep pushing, just little by little. You'll see the results.
Yeah.
And that's just like life. You'll see it,
It
but you
is
got to
like
get
life.
up and do it. You can't quit. You can't throw the towel in.
hey, and the
So
cool
many people
thing
do
is
that.
maybe you're in a place where you haven't thrown the towel in, where you are doing good. Maybe share that with somebody. People are freaking out. You've never really shared this, by the way.
Yeah, that's the first
So
time.
somebody said
Thanks, Amy.
I just started a no sugar, no bread yesterday. I was struggling yesterday. I definitely needed this morning. Thank you, Dex, for finally opening up a little about yourself. We hardly ever hear about how you are doing, so thank you for the inspiration.
Oh, that's so cool.
So-
See?
Yeah.
See, somebody
I
else
like
actually
re-
challenged me now because they said that I keep saying all this motivational stuff, but I'm not doing anything. So why don't I just start running with you a couple times a week? And I'm going, no!
You should do that.
No, that's his time.
Well,
though.
then you should run a different direction.
I don't want to run with anybody. Yeah, people are like, hey, I would love to run with you. Yeah.
This is true.
I
He's had a few
know.
No,
people.
I get that.
He's
I
had a few
get
people.
that.
First thing,
Yeah.
when you run, you can't talk.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. Some people can,
I can
you know?
talk.
Yeah, I can't, you know? I don't want to.
I can talk the whole time.
man.
And if you're gonna run, like there was a bunch of girls the other night, and they were leaving to go to the gym, and I saw them. I was like, "Oh, I'll run with you. We're gonna go a couple mile, whatever." And I said, "Oh, I'll go with you." And they both put their earplugs, the things to listen to music. I said, "Do you guys talk?" And they're like, "No, I didn't go." I was like,
amazing.
"Okay, I don't have
I'm
any
like the
earphones."
Chihuahua in like the Looney Tunes cartoons. Like we would have to run
Yeah.
together, and I would just be talking the whole time because I feel like I have to. Because if
Right.
I'm not talking, all of a sudden I'm going, oh, my side or my knees,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna focus on this. Dex, let's talk.
And I'm
Talk
like,
to
shut
me.
up.
I'm the
Don't talk to
same
me.
way. I'll run with you. I'm like,
Okay.
let's talk. So
Yes,
how you
oh,
doing?
dude,
What are you doing? How is it?
same.
Let's
Yes.
talk. And then you get with people and they just put their earplugs in
Yeah.
and they're like,
Oh,
I
man.
so don't want to talk
Yeah.
to you.
I have to zone out. I can't do it.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this whole hour has gone by. Like this makes me happy sad.
Oh, I know. It's just,
Amazing.
I also think it's just such good information. It's such good stuff because
Yeah.
so many people in their lives are struggling.
Yeah.
And how do you get out of that place of just feeling crappy to kind of making a commitment to make change?
Yeah, seriously.
Right?
It just sounds like you got to start. That's what it
You
sounds
just
like.
have to
you
just start
get it,
somewhere.
You purpose
You
to do
gotta
it today.
get up and just
Yeah.
do
Purpose
it.
to do it, whether it's
Amy-
mental, physical, spiritual.
Amy, I have to tell you, you know, there was months ago, it was last year. I remember you would text me. I would be in my bed, curled
know.
up in a ball.
I know.
Like just depressed
I
and
know.
just in a dark place. And you'd text me and be like, hey, get up. Get up right now and go for a walk.
And you're like, why are you in
get
my
up right now.
backyard?
And no
Why are you-
joke, I'd be like, oh.
So one time
all right.
I was like, all right, do you have your sneakers on? And he's like, I'm getting them on right now. And I said, I want you to text me when you're out the door. And he would shoot pictures of himself running.
Yeah.
I'm still moving. I said, just keep moving.
Seriously,
Yeah,
just
like,
keep
dude.
moving.
you have no idea. That helped me. I needed somebody to be like, get up, you know? Like, get up. Because I was literally like just in my bed.
I know you were.
Frozen, you know? And it was like,
Yeah.
okay, I can do this. I can get up and just go walk.
Yeah.
I can do this. I can go
Yeah.
breathe some fresh air, you know? And I was so glad. Every time I'd go out and do it, I felt so glad that I did.
Yeah. I remember one time I texted him, it was probably an hour later, and I was like, Dex, I'm so glad you did that. He goes, I'm still walking.
Yeah.
I'm like-
It was one of those,
I'm like,
I walked too far.
Okay, Dex, you can turn around, buddy.
Yeah.
Where are you? Do
I
you want me
always
to come
forget.
pick you
Oh,
up?
I gotta go
know,
back.
You've been walking in a straight line for 1 solid hour. Turn around, buddy. Turn around.
Exactly. I've never once used an Uber either.
Yeah, I've never thought about that. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. Oh my gosh.
That's so good,
There
though.
it
You
is.
kept doing it, though, you know?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's awesome.
Amy, you
that
got to
did
come
it.
back in.
Oh,
yeah,
I love you
for
guys.
real.
We love
I
you.
love
Good.
you guys.
Oh.
Yeah. It's good for me. It's good. It's good stuff for me too,
Yeah.
for my
Well,
heart. You
that's
know.
it. Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
you. I feel
yeah.
you.
I feel you.
All right.
Take care of yourself.
Bye, Amy.
Bye,
Starmers,
guys.
good morning. We're live from the Dreamstyle Remodeling Star 88 Studios. We got a lot to do this morning. We'll tell you
Yeah.
all about it when we come back. Hang on.
Oh, I love you guys.
This is a fresh thought. Listen up to Levi Lusko.
Peter said, quoting the prophet Isaiah, is like the flower of the grass. All our beauty, all the buildings we build and bridges. Oh, look at we crossed that chasm and we put our name in lights. And look at this film and look at this company and look at every accomplishment. We're talking Caesar. We're talking Napoleon Bonaparte. We're talking the founders of the United States when they signed the Declaration of Independence. All great, but look, it's all, look at it again. It's all just the flower of the grass. The grass withers, the flower falls away, but the word of the Lord endures forever. So time is not on your side. Your life is just grass. Your life is just a flower. But through listening to God's word, we can tap into something that's forever, something that's eternal.
For more fresh thoughts, go to LeviLusko.com.
This is Groundwire with Sean Dunn. Groundwire.
My friend asked the waitress if she knew that God loved her. With a shocked look on her face, she said, "It's funny that you asked, because just last night I was standing on my balcony asking if he still loved me." This young woman surrendered her heart to Christ that day and began a relationship with him. I'm continually amazed how ready some people are to hear and respond to the news that God desperately loves them and wants a relationship. Maybe you are the same way. Perhaps you've tried to find joy and fulfillment in everything from substances to relationships. It could be time that you stop looking for something to take that edge off and make life worth living. Instead, look for someone. The answer to your questions and the thing that will satisfy your soul is a relationship with Jesus Christ. He loves you and wants to be a part of your life. I promise that if you give him a chance, he will make all the difference. But if you want to know his voice, you're going to have to set aside some time to be with him and practice communicating. But by investing some time in this relationship, you will be able to decipher his thoughts and his leadings.
To find out more, click on groundwire.net.
Groundwire.net.
A Star 88 Supernova. Here's Rick Warren.
When you get to heaven, you're going to do 4 things. You're going to love God, so he wants you to practice here. You're going to love other people, so he wants you to practice here. You're going to grow spiritually, so he wants you to practice here. And you're going to serve God in heaven, so he wants you to practice here. Now, one of the ways you can serve other people is by serving them financially. And so the Equity Service Fund is the 4th way. God says, I want you to use some of your money to help people in need. They don't have to be believers. They can be total strangers. But I want you to minister to them through the Equity Service Fund. I want you to help people in need. So how do I invest in the Equity Service Fund? We can write this down. By using some of my money to expand my ministry. I use some of my money to expand my ministry. Remember, everybody's got a ministry. Not everybody's a pastor, but everybody's a minister.
Catch Rick Warren's Daily Hope on KKT 107.1 weekdays at 7:30 a.m. This is KLYT, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Star 88, New Mexico's fresh alternative. In with Dex and Steve-O.
We choose to express ourselves through music.
We were young, we were brave with our eyes wide shut. In the choices we made, well, you lit the match, and I got caught with the flames. And your voice still rings out through my mind, and the thorns still twist down in my side. All the promises said that we left for dead in the night. Because I'm moving on, letting go, forget the past, I'm giving up the ghost. All we are is fading stars. Life's too short to stay where we are. Forgive and let live and move on. Tell me that you're gonna make me stronger. Forgive and let live and move on. Forgive and let live and move on. Tell me that you're gonna make me stronger. Forgive and let live and move on. Maybe I'm broken, maybe it's the fate, maybe it's the moment you said I had changed. Where did 13 years go? Like I didn't know you at all. Because I'm moving on, letting go, forget the past, I'm giving up the ghost. All we are is fading stars. Life's too short to stay where we are. Forgive and let live and move on. Tell me that you're gonna make me stronger. Forgive and let live and move on. Forgive and let live and move on. Tell me that you're gonna make me stronger. Forgive and let live and move on. I heard you were back with regrets and you meant it. I had a reply to your text, never sent it. When bridges were burning, an accusation. Funny how time is the great revelation. Moving on, letting go, forget the past, I'm giving up the ghost. All we are is fading stars. Life's too short to stay where we are. Forgive and let live and move on. Tell me that you're gonna make me stronger. Forgive and let live and move on. Forgive and let live and move on. Tell me that you're gonna make me stronger. Forgive and let live and move on. Forgive and let live and move on. Tell me that you're gonna make me stronger. Forgive and let live and move on. Forgive and let live and move on. Tell me that you're gonna make me stronger. Forgive and let live and move on. Forgive and let live and move on. Tell me that you're gonna make me stronger. Forgive and let live and move on.
Do you ever get so excited that you just can't wait?
It's the Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O.
I've been waiting my whole life for this.
Good morning, everybody. Live from the Dreamstar Remodeling Star 88 Studios. Dex, Steve-O, Starmy. That's you. We named you Starmy. You guys can chime in. We're live on YouTube and Facebook at Star 88 FM. You guys can also call in. Phone lines are open, 505-338-3700. And we got a live line you can text in. What's that number?
505-585-LIVE. That's 505-585-5483.
Dude, shout out to our girl Amy.
That was great, dude.
Been a while since we got to hang and catch up.
It was fun.
She's such a sweetheart. So, and thanks for chiming in. Hanging out with us, guys. Oh, man. Tuesday. Huge show today.
Yeah.
Let's talk video games in the church. Yesterday we
man.
talked beer in the church.
Right? Yesterday was an interesting discussion, which I'm sure we're going to bring that back up on Thursday with B-Nix.
Yeah.
We
didn't really get to talk about all
We
that
didn't
much.
get to dive in deep. That's coming up Thursday during 3 Degrees, 7 o'clock hour with Brian Nixon. He actually knows the dude. And so it's like,
Oh, really?
yeah. So we talked a little bit about it and looking forward to that. But, you know, we were talking last hour with our girl Amy from Bear Canyon CrossFit, and it was like mental health, physical health, spiritual health. Where do you go? Some people want to CrossFit. Some people want to swim. Some people like to run like you, right? So different lifestyles, different things going on. Well, what about the gamer and their faith and their spirituality? I was reading this article and I was like, is this real life?
Mm-hmm.
Can a video game church actually exist?
I don't know, man.
A virtual church? Is this real life?
Virtual reality?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I remember back in the day, I was like a nerdy kid playing World of Warcraft. We used to meet on Sundays for a Bible study in-game. No joke. There was like a little sanctuary here. We'd like go and we'd hang out and we'd like pray for each other and we'd do church. And it was pretty cool. But it definitely wasn't a substitute for gathering together with human beings. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what it looks like is happening. A virtual church has launched for gamers. The pastor says he's reaching a people group for Christ that the traditional church doesn't even know exists. The Washington Post published on July 27th an interview with Matt Souza, a 27-year-old pastor in Richmond, Virginia, who's licensed through the Assemblies of God, who utilizes video games and a live streaming platform, which we know as Twitch. His church is called God Squad. He started in 2016 to reach a community of individuals who tend to be atheists and dislike religion. So essentially, viewers watch a live stream of him playing video games. And while he's playing the video games, you know, people can chime in with questions and conversations. And while he's doing this, he fields questions about God and the Christian faith. He always weaves in moral and ethical principles into the gaming world. There are rules. He asks gamers not to cuss, advises them not to play certain games like Grand Theft Auto, which has got a mature rating because of the particular kind of killing, sexual content that games like that promote. Basically, got the idea to start a church for gamers using Twitch upon realizing the influence and the reach others had. As of last month, his God Squad church has 1,800 members, and his stream has approximately 4,000 views per month.
So this isn't an actual building where people meet up.
This is in his living room on his television. Dude does church. Phone lines are open, obviously. I would love to hear from the Starmy on this. You can text in 505-585-LIVE to share your thoughts. You can also share them on YouTube or on Facebook at Star88FM.
Yeah, it's a little bit different than our conversation yesterday about
Beer Church.
Beer Church.
If you missed that, like seriously, we're going to get down on that on Thursday with B-Nix, but church essentially sold their building to open a brewery that the proceeds will benefit the community, but also so that they can do church in a brewery?
Yeah, see, this whole VR thing is going to get crazy. I really think it's going to get to the point where it's going to get harder and harder for us to leave the house. Because if you've
we're gonna have to purpose to leave the house.
If you've never done VR before, it's incredible.
Weird.
It's weird, but it's incredible. You feel like you are there.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, right now, they have it set up. You can watch an NBA game courtside with VR goggles.
Yeah.
Like you're courtside. You feel like you're at the game.
I have a hard time with it because it still doesn't replace actual live experience to me. Like I guess I'm not in that Wall-E, that universe of Wall-E where you're just sitting on a chair like virtually experiencing it.
Okay, let's just say, because we know technology is going to get crazier and crazier. And I know this is like the next step is you put your VR goggles on.
Yeah.
And you're courtside NFL game. You're at the 50-yard line, whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
And you look over, and there's a dude sitting next to you, an avatar, who can talk to you like you were there at the game. So you're having fellowship while you're not even at the game,
Right.
but you are.
Right.
What's the difference? And I get the whole difference is like, okay, you need to get out of the house. You know,
Yeah,
you need
right.
to move your body. I get that whole aspect of it. But think about it. Church is all about going, fellowship. We are the church. We are supposed to be there to encourage and love one another, support each other.
Mm-hmm.
We want to learn more about our amazing, awesome God. If we could put a VR set on at home,
Right.
and still have fellowship with other people at the church like these guys are doing,
Yeah.
why not?
Christopher Bennick, he's a Presbyterian pastor from Florida. He actually has written so many books on technology issues for the Christian Post. He actually said that he thinks this pastor is onto something vitally important. He argues that though his church may seem unconventional, this church should not be dismissed. Quote, in 1 Corinthians 12:14, the Apostle Paul writes about the value of having different parts of the body that make up the church. Matt Souza is part of the body of Christ that articulates that he's trying to use tech for good. As a tech pastor, I think we should encourage more Christians to learn to use tech for good. I don't see where ministering to people in a digital environment is any less important than a pastor making phone calls or television evangelism, end quote. So if you're just joining us, there's a church on Twitch. It's called God Squad Church. It has 1,800 members. It streams about 4,000 per month. And the idea is that it takes place digitally. Everybody's in their own living room or on their iPad or wherever, just kind of streaming it. The pastor plays video games the whole time and fields questions and kind of has a little sermon, if you will.
Yeah. But this is how you need to look at this. And this is, I hope other pastors and other leaders out there realize that you have to be able to engage and connect with your audience.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? If your audience is the youth, you're a youth pastor, you have to figure out what are they into?
Yeah.
What are their interests? How can I relate to those kids, right? That's exactly what this pastor's doing. He's using something that kids are doing to relate and to get them into the Word of God. Look at our show. Look at the way radio is now.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in radio years ago weren't willing to change with the times.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to jump on Facebook and YouTube and the whole
Right.
social aspect of it. They didn't want to connect that way. They were old school, and they didn't feel like they needed to do that. Guess what? They got fired because they couldn't connect to their audience like other shows were connecting.
Yeah.
You know, they got you know, they're gone now. They couldn't relate to their audience. And you have to be willing to change and grow with your audience.
Yeah. Pastor told the Washington Post that he doesn't think the church should be reduced to attending services, but that it is fundamentally about doing life together and that real relationships have been forged from his digital church, this virtual world church. In fact, in the fall, he's traveling to North Carolina. He's going to officiate the wedding of two of his gamer congregants. Later this month, he's going to water baptize a woman who lives in Houston, whom he led to the Lord. That I guess she's coming to Virginia for a gamer conference where he's at, and he'll water baptize her then. He said Jesus always went to where the people were at. One of the huge mediums of how to meet people today is through video games, and I believe 100% that if Jesus were here walking on the earth, he'd be gaming with people because he knows that's where the people are at.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He also said anywhere people gather, even digitally, with a common interest, there one finds community. Many members of our church seek to follow the teachings of Jesus, and thus, by definition, they're our Christian community.
You guys can call in. Phone lines open, 505-338-3700. Good morning. Go ahead.
Hey there. I think you were right. You know, you were talking about relating to people where they're at. You know, I think Jesus went to, is it Zacchaeus' house? He met him in his situation, in his element. And I think there's something to be said for that, meeting people, you know, in their element where they're possibly, most comfortable. I'm not sure that meeting in person is like the end all be all for community. And I think that it's legitimate to have some online community as well.
Yeah, that's good, man. Thanks for chiming in.
Yeah, thanks.
You guys want to call in? Phone line's open. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Hey, good morning.
Good
They
morning.
need to figure out how to do a church on Netflix. That way, Dex could be going to church on a regular basis.
Do they have
Hey,
that?
you know, no.
No? Oh. You got my blood boiling,
actually,
man. You got blood pressure raised.
Can I be serious?
Yeah, be serious, man.
Possible for you.
I think this is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, Jesus didn't go hang out with the Pharisees in the temple. He went where the people were. And I think what this church is doing is absolutely brilliant because this is a lost group of people that, I work in the nerd industry and, these, and I don't mean that derogatory. I'm saying that these people have a life philosophy that's so far from where the church is at that this olive branch that this guy is extending to them, I think is absolutely brilliant. And I think it's a step toward reaching a lost group of people that nobody has been able to reach.
Yeah.
So, he's reaching them on their terms.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it just makes me wonder, how can we bridge into the cosplay people or the, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if we can do this virtually, how do you bring the gospel to the people that like to dress up, in bear costumes and, the furries? I mean, there's got to be a way to reach out to those who are on the fringe. And I think what this pastor is doing is absolutely brilliant.
Well, I think what you do is you start a church where you're allowed to dress up as whatever you want.
Why not?
Hang up.
Why not?
Hang up.
You
want
to dress up as a furry?
No.
Not you. Not you. No, I'm saying.
I think you've got something there.
Do I have something?
Seriously.
No.
Do you want to start a church with me?
No.
What?
Get out. Go away. Wow. Not you, Bill.
A superhero church.
A superhero church?
Okay.
No. A pop culture. Why not?
Yeah.
You know what we'd call it? Pop culture.
Bye.
Yeah. Pop culture.
Pop culture. Pop culture.
I get what you're doing. I don't know if I like it. It's
pop culture.
Yeah. I think you can do better.
Ugh.
You can do better.
I quit you.
We can't move on until you can do better.
Nope. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
All right.
Cosplay.
That's a little better. It's a little better. Cosplay. Cosplay, but cosplay.
Right. Duh.
I was just telling the audience because they didn't know.
The prayer group. It's a prayer group.
I like it.
Cosplay.
All right.
At Pop Culture.
All right. Maybe that'll work.
Huh? I'm getting there. We're on to something.
You come as you are, man. That's the whole thing. You want to you want to dress up like Chewbacca? Dress up like Chewbacca.
I just feel like that. Okay. Anyways, if you're just joining us, we're definitely not mocking.
You want to dress up like a girl? Dress up like a girl.
Can a video game church advance the kingdom of God? That was the question asked by Christian Post, and I found this article and was like, interesting thoughts. A virtual church, 1,600 members, 4,000 streams a month. Somebody said, I think that there's a theological assumption made when people assume that ministry shouldn't include screens or certain forms of technology. If we don't want screens, then we need to invest in building better relational tech. But I think that's a false assumption to assume that utilizing screens is a problem. Technology is the creative matter that we are also called to shepherd. Dang, dude.
Wow.
Live line's going insane. Somebody said if this brought one person to Christ, then it was worth it. Somebody else said, this is a brilliant idea. Way to the ice with this group. What?
Way to the ice.
I don't know. Somebody said Brody has been preparing for a superhero church all of his life. This would be his dream.
He might be the one.
This dude, he constantly is in different costumes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Somebody said, here's the huge difference, though. Your VR avatar does not express emotion like you do. If something is wrong, you can hide it much more effectively in virtual reality. We already have problems with people pretending everything is fine in regular churches. This makes that many times easier. People need to be together and be real. Does this make it impossible? No. People can be real in virtual reality, but it's easier not to be.
I just feel I get what you're saying. I totally get it. It is better to be at church physically, for sure.
Right.
I get it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
at the same time, times are changing. Technology is changing, and people aren't coming to church like they used to. So why not figure it out, find a way to make it happen like this guy's doing? He's like, you know what? These kids love video gaming. They're on YouTube. They're online watching people play video games. How can I connect them with God? And that's what he's doing.
You know what's funny is okay, look at this. I literally just brought up Hebrews 10:25, and as I said that, somebody just brought in Hebrews 25, and it's going to be the opposite of what I was about to say. So I'm like, well, wait. Because somebody says, I feel like Hebrews 10:25 discusses this. Hebrews 10:25 says, do not forsake the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching. Now, here's the thing. Let's go to like the ESV version and see. It says, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near.
Meet together could mean,
but that's exactly
meet
where
online.
I was about to just pose that question. What does that mean to meet together? Because they're saying, guys, we are gathering together virtually. We're in a chat room, if you will, having a conversation. We are all online together, praying for one another. I'm not saying it's replacing real church. I'm definitely not saying that. But they said there's something to physically meeting together, physical reminder of the body of Christ, rearranging your life around Christ, being seen and seeing others, etc. But is that what that means? Are we?
Yeah.
Is it not good to?
I think it's, if you have never experienced virtual reality before, then you really can't speak to what we're talking about. Yeah. You can't speak, and we don't even know as far as like where the technology is going to take us 5-10 years from now. It might be seriously like we are right there.
Yeah. Well, a member of the Army chimed in and said, I think this is a good idea for certain people. My boyfriend sits on his Xbox all night in a chat party with the dudes he's never met, just listening to them breathe. They might not even be playing the same game. They just have a constant line of communication. So if he could do something constructive with this obsession he has, that would be great.
Yeah. 505-338-3700. Good morning.
Hey, morning, fellas. It's Frank in Massachusetts. How you doing?
Hey, Frank.
Hey, you know what? I love this strategy, you know. But the thing about it is a lot of people have the conflict about, oh, this is going to replace, you know, going to church. But I don't think that's what's happening. I think this is just another pond, you know, as for Steve to be fishers of men. And that, you know, while the person, you know, ministers them, then the Holy Spirit convicts them and understands that going to church is part of growing in Christ. So, you know, it's just to plant the seed.
Yeah.
You know, so it's part of the process. It's not to replace the process.
Yeah.
It's just part of the journey, you know. So
yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, and I think this is when you could start streaming church services online, people freaked out. People are like, oh my gosh, this is not okay. Like we should be meeting at the church, which we agree. We should be at the church. But at the same time, being able to stream for people that have disabilities and that can't leave their home, people that maybe aren't at home and travel a lot, they can pull up a podcast and they can stream last week's service. There's so many reasons why it's great. And this can be amazing and great as well. It's just how we use it.
Yeah.
You know?
No, absolutely.
It's like people using our show as church. We've heard that before. Like, I don't need to go to church. I'll listen to you guys.
Yeah, and we're like, no. We are not your church.
Not at all.
We can help you grow in your faith. We can encourage you.
Yeah.
We can educate, but we are not the replacement for the physical meeting together of people. Right. So, yeah, I agree with that.
But you might plant the seed that actually, you know, breeds the Holy Spirit to guide someone to church, which is amazing.
Yeah, man.
That's good, dude. Thanks, man.
Awesome. Bye-bye.
guys want to chime in? Talking about this pastor who meets with video gamers and has church online. They play video games together and they have church together.
I like what Bill said. God knew his creation would create technology. If we ignore harnessing its potential for the gospel, we fail miserably. That's good. Our boy Ben reminded us, my homie Dion, he goes to Legacy. He's got millions of subscribers. He is like a Madden gamer to like nobody's business, man. And all of his videos, he inserts a bunch of stuff about his faith.
That's cool.
And yeah, talking about meeting people where they're at. He's phenomenal at it. He also encourages people to like get into church locally at a Bible-believing church near them in the community.
Yeah.
So it's not a replacement.
All right, if you want to chime in, we're live on Facebook and YouTube at Star 88 FM. We're live from the Dreamstar Remodeling Star 88 Studios. We'll be right back.
Christine Kane challenges us to not just look at those around us, but to see the person as Christ sees them. In this Star 88 PowerPoint.
You know, my husband, he is an awesome man, but he has this incredible case of domestic blindness. And he will yell to me, Christine, have you seen the milk? Like, what do you mean? The 68 cartons right in front of you on that middle shelf. Or when it comes to, have you seen my shirt? Oh, the one that's hanging. All 15 of them in black, like Gary. There, it's right there. It's right. Do you see it? There's like this domestic blindness that happens. We could go through something and you could be at a supermarket with someone. They're like, did you see that person? You're so consumed in yourself, you didn't see the person that even scanned your items. You didn't even see the person on the side of the street. You didn't even see the pain or the suffering in the person in your workplace. You kind of looked at a boss that seemed angry, but you didn't see the person behind it. It's amazing how much we look at, but we do not see.
That's Christine Kane on a Star 88 PowerPoint. A supernova on Star 88 with David Jeremiah.
Today, God's method for dealing with rebellion is not to send down fire from heaven, but to send the love of Jesus Christ into the heart of the rebel. Listen to these words from the Apostle Paul. Do you despise the riches of his goodness, forbearance, and long-suffering, not knowing that the goodness of God leads you to repentance? There's coming a day, according to the scripture, when the Old Testament way will return. The Bible teaches that when the 7 years of tribulation happens in the future, it's going to be an awful lot like the Old Testament was. In those 7 years, fire will fall from heaven again. But here's the good news, brothers and sisters. We live in the parentheses between what's in the Old Testament and what's coming in the tribulation. We live in the age of grace.
Turning Point with David Jeremiah. Don't miss it on our sister station, KNKT, weekdays at 11 a.m. on 107.1 FM. Carl Lentz on a solar flare. Who you are is not defined by what you do, but it is defined according to who Jesus is to you. That's a solar flare on Star 88.
Just like the city lights. Just like the city lights. You're the brightest. You are lighting up the night. the city lights. We're gonna burn bright like we've come alive. We've come alive, and the world needs to know the hope that we hold. Love is breaking through the darkness. We're gonna burn bright like the city lights, just like the city lights. Just like the city lights. Your love is a fire. Your love is a fire. We will never be the same, and our hearts cannot contain. Your love is a fire. Your love is a fire. We will never be the same, and our hearts cannot contain. Your love is a fire. Your love is a fire. Oh, we're gonna burn bright like the city lights, just like the city lights. We're gonna burn bright like we've come alive. We've come alive, and the world needs to know the hope that we hold. Love is breaking through the darkness. We're gonna burn bright like the city lights, just like the city lights. 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 The city lights, like the city lights. Just like the city lights.
What's going on in the news today?
Rick Gates, the prosecution's star witness in Paul Manafort's financial fraud trial, is on the stand.
The Trump administration's reimposing sanctions on Iran.
There's been a very high number of shootings in Chicago over the past few days.
A police officer shot in Philadelphia while serving a warrant.
Republican Senator Rand Paul met in Moscow with senators on Russia's International Affairs Committee.
Police in rural New Mexico rescued 11 children living in a makeshift compound with no running water or electricity. They say it looks like the kids were third world refugees.
Facebook says it's taken down 4 pages belonging to Alex Jones for violating its hate speech and bullying policies.
YouTube removed his official channel for the same reasons.
Apple confirmed its iTunes platform will no longer offer 5 podcast series hosted by Jones.
Spotify also took every episode of the Alex Jones Show podcast from its streaming platform.
Pepsi's long-serving chief, Indra Nooyi, is stepping down.
The Hawaiian Islands are preparing for a hurricane. Hector is projected to track south of the state.
At least one CBS star is expressing support for Les Moonves, Candace Bergen.
He pays attention when women speak. I would hate to see him go down.
You guys like a good skate competition? You can join Expect a Miracle ABQ. They got a back-to-school bash August 11th, 1 p.m. at the Northwest Modular Skate Park. They got the skate comp, live music, food trucks, free games. It's going to be 100 free backpacks for the first 100 guests. Star88.fm for all the details. Welcome to the show, everybody. Live from the Dreamstar Remodeling Star 88 Studios. Dex and Steve-O talking about virtual church. This pastor decided to meet the kids online while they're gaming. You know, how do you bring God to these gamers out there? They're spending so much time. Yesterday, I got to hang out with the kids in Orlando.
Yeah, man.
I'm not going to post this, but
Right.
I should play you some of this because if you're a parent and your child plays Fortnite, you know what your house sounds like.
How are you in my wall? How are you in my wall? You walked through my wall. You walked through my wall. This game is so bad. All right.
Gosh, that's my son, and he's hanging out with his friends online, and he got into a fight with his friend because of
Dude.
Fortnite.
Oh, gosh.
And it was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's stop right now. Let's have a talk. You know?
Yeah.
We had to throw down yesterday because that's it. And now I get it. You can be passionate about what you're doing, right? Yeah. Obviously, that was very passionate. You know? When you're starting to fight with your friends over it and it's becoming like that, oh my gosh. You got to step in, right? You got to do something. It's time to break the Xbox, right? I told him if he didn't calm down on the Fortnite, I was going to post that video and it'll go viral.
Yeah, probably.
Think that's a good parenting move on my part? Threatening him with posting the video?
I mean,
I wouldn't do that to him. I would never do that, actually.
You know what is a bummer? Gosh, see, Chrissy has said things that just like instill certain things in me that makes me so mad.
Yeah?
Yeah. Good job, Chrissy. Because there's a scripture that talks about not provoking your children to anger. And I always think of that. Ephesians 6:4. And it's specifically to dads. Ugh. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger by the way you treat them.
Yeah, man. That's good. Yeah.
Bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. And I'm like, oh, but
right.
But that video's hilarious.
Oh my gosh, I have like 3 or 4 hilarious videos that I want to post, but he begged me not to, and so I posted a couple and I took them down yesterday because he asked me to, and I don't want to embarrass him, you know. You know. But
it's cool that you took it down, man.
They're ready anytime, you know.
Yeah.
Anytime I can launch those bad boys out there.
I like that.
You know.
Yeah.
Just never know I'm going to do it.
I'm a little mad. Remember the Stormy chimed in, by the way, with our last topic with a better church name than me. Churchual Reality.
A better.
Bro, listen. Churchual Reality.
Okay.
No?
I don't know. I mean, you know what? It is better. I'll give you that. Good job. It's better.
Some Looper Chime said, that's my son. He screams and yells all the time while gaming. It doesn't even have to be a group game. He could be playing a game by himself, and he's still shouting and yelling.
Yep.
Not angry, just being vocal.
Exactly.
Dude, Luke, man.
Luke does it too?
Jack's a little more chill when he's gaming. Yeah, dude. Luke is like commanding his friends. He is a leader, that is for sure.
Yeah, Lamb
and
is
I'm
the
always
same
like,
way.
I want to see you like that on the baseball field, bro.
Yeah.
How can you be so vocal and lead them so well?
Mm-hmm.
No, Hunter, I need you to go blah, 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 blah. X, seriously, over here, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just going, wow, dude, he's straight up like leading a squad.
Right.
He is the squad leader. Virtually.
Right. It's funny you just said squad. Because I was talking to my daughter yesterday, and she referred to her group of friends as her squad. I'm like, is that the new thing?
Like, no, I meant as like squad goals.
Well, I get that, but I mean, that's like the new thing that kids are saying outside of gaming.
Speaking of squads, you know what squad I'm stoked on? It's this new church, man. It's called Ready Prayer One.
Oh, my gosh. Nope.
Remember the Stormy sent that one in. Ready Prayer One? Are you kidding me?
Make the t-shirt now.
Yeah. Somebody says that sounds like my husband watching the news. That's how I am with sports.
Yeah, right?
I told my friends this year I think I had to bail on fantasy football because it ruins football for me.
Yeah, I was wondering that.
Because I'm screaming at the TV like if my running back's in and they drop back for a pass, I'm going, no! Hand it off! Oh! He's open to the left! No! Oh! They threw it to the tight end.
Is it fun? Or is it...
No, it's frustrating at this point.
Okay.
I've been doing it for too many years, and I think I need to call it a life.
Okay.
Calling it a life on fantasy football, I think.
That's a good idea.
Oh.
That's good, man.
Can't, man.
Glad you realize it.
Yeah. Mark says, I tell my kids about this awesome first-person shooter I played in 92, 93. It was called Somalia.
Oh, wow.
No restarts. Gosh.
You're that dad, Mark.
Yeah. Pat says it doesn't change when they get older. My 20-year-old screams like a girl when he's gaming.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there's a few high-pitched screams in there. I don't know.
We need to start. Hey, just like that church, I'm feeling like we should start a Twitch stream. And it's just us terribly playing video games. Because I'm pretty bad at it.
Yeah, I'm terrible, too.
New Spider-Man games coming out in September. I'll be getting that. Come on.
Nobody would watch us, bro. We're terrible. People don't watch terrible players.
Yeah, but I think you're still vocalizing everything. So it'd be kind of like Mystery Science Theater 3000 video games.
Yeah.
Could be cool.
What if we tried to do the exact same show we're doing now, but while playing video games? No? Maybe not? Yeah, see? Wouldn't work. Anything else? Anybody saying before we move on?
Yeah, we can move on.
All right. Did you hear about the masked man that broke into a radio station in Wisconsin?
Oh, my gosh, no.
This happened on Sunday morning. He shot at the 3 hosts in the studio. One was hit in the butt. He's going to be fine. The president of the station talked to the media and didn't rule out the possibility that it happened because of their music selection.
Is this real life?
We don't know why. That's quite a concern of ours. And we're not quite sure if it's a personal issue or a music issue.
Well, police say the shooting happened while 2 of the DJs wrapped up their show and the 3rd DJ was about to start their show. No mics were on because at the time, music was on the air. The station says it is tightening security. This is what they call a community station. It's listener-supported, it's non-commercial, and plays a wide range of music as well as talk shows.
Yeah.
Sounds like a station I know.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Barricade the door, man.
Listener-supported.
Never leaving this room.
That's one good thing about where we work is security. They got it on lockdown. Now, I'm pretty good lockdown, right?
What is life, man?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know if this is. I wonder if this still happens a lot. And we just don't hear about it
because it's not like news.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like people angry. With
nobody
the,
died, but
selection. I mean, we still from time to time get interesting texts on the live.
Yeah,
line.
For real. But being a radio for 20 years. Oh, my gosh. Back in the day, I remember hearing some crazy stories from DJs and personalities on the radio where people showing up with axes and trying to chop the door down, just trying to do crazy things. I bet it still happens. But this is the first one I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, dude.
Good morning.
Hey, guys.
Oh, Britt!
What are you doing?
Oh, nothing. Just eating a breakfast burrito and having a chocolate milk.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Beautiful. Are you still in the hospital?
But here's the thing, bro. I mean, let's be real. Jarrett Ryder showed up a couple days ago. You got to start working on that mom bod. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe lay off that chocolate milk.
I know. I was listening to the 6 o'clock hour, and I was like, dang, I really need to get back to the gym. But, hey, I still have 6 weeks. Like, I have a 6-week free card because you're not supposed to work out, you know? So the next 6 weeks,
yeah,
I'm
but
just gonna
hold on, Britt. But
really
Britt,
focus.
But Britt, for these next 6 weeks, you can focus on eating clean and getting ready to start working out. So when it's time to start working out, it's not going to be as bad, you know?
Yeah.
Just let you know.
You know what most people do when they're talking to someone who just pushed a kid out? They're usually like, oh, you know what? You deserve it.
Congratulations.
Your breakfast burrito.
Hey,
drink your chocolate milk.
You know who those people are called? Acquaintances.
Oh.
We're your friend.
That's right.
Okay? We are your friend,
That's
and
right.
we are holding you accountable to life, okay? Because we believe that you can do it. You can accomplish more than these acquaintances are telling you.
That's
okay?
right.
Put down the chocolate milk, okay? And just recognize, like, you've got a responsibility. You've got an obligation.
I know.
Please don't punch me the next time you
know.
see me. I love you so much.
Hey, my hormones have come down. So
That's good.
I think
You're
I'm
good
okay
right now. You're very chill. For those that don't realize this, Britt Romney gave birth to Jarrett Ryder on the 3rd. It was the 3rd, right? Because Seth had everybody confused. Yeah, Seth had everybody confused. It was the 4th. So I keep wanting to say the 4th, but it was actually the 3rd. So
It was the 3rd.
you were busy giving birth, so you didn't realize that he messed up all over social media.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting you know now.
Oh my
He went back and changed. He went back and changed it, so he's good now.
You guys, can I just say
Yes.
I'm like literally dying, okay, in this hospital bed. Like I'm
Because
like
of Seth?
I'm bent over. I'm like, oh my gosh, like they had to give me Pitocin, so I'm like my contractions are like back to back. And Seth's like laughing on the morning show and like tuning in on
What a
Facebook,
jerk.
like writing comments. I'm like, put your phone down.
Right?
What are you doing?
I was trying to tell him to knock it off. He didn't listen.
Is this why we haven't heard from him in a few days? Is he still breathing oxygen? Like, is he good? Are you a single mom?
Hey,
What happened?
Seth still admitted he's on the 6th floor.
Okay, that's
good.
good. That's
Good.
good. Poor
So-
dude.
No, but yeah, I know. But you know what? He's super dad. He's asleep right now because he stayed up with Jarrett. Guys, I keep calling him Jakin.
It'll happen. It'll
Yeah.
happen. You're
I
okay.
felt so bad. I'm like, oh my gosh, you are not Jakin. You're Jarrett.
Britt,
Anyways,
Britt.
yeah, he was on dad duty.
How's
That's
Jarrett doing? Is he hanging
He's
in there?
doing
He's
so
healthy?
good. Yeah, we're praying that we get released today. So that's why I
Okay.
was calling in, so I can have all my friends pray that we get a good word today and that he gets to go home.
Is he
Because
putting on some weight?
honestly, you guys, it's been like such perspective being in the NICU because, you know, I'm like sitting here complaining like, oh my gosh, we have to be here and like, I just want to be home. And there are like people who are like losing their babies and not even able to take them home.
bet,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like it's just so heartbreaking. Like
Yeah.
I've been so convicted and so like challenged in my, you know, throwing fits about being here.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah.
That's good. So
it's
is
been
little Jarrett
growing.
Ryder putting on some weight? Is he starting to
Oh,
look a little
dude,
bit better?
are you kidding me? Do you know who his father is?
I know, I was gonna
This
say,
kid's
right?
Eating, like he's blowing through. I mean,
Good.
it's hilarious. They're
Good.
like, "Gosh, he eats a lot." I'm like, "I know,
Ah,
I know."
that's great.
Seth and I are both eaters, so but yeah, he's doing great. So I'm hoping that we get to go home today.
All right,
and,
we're praying for you.
Not have to be in the hospital.
We're
Thanks,
praying for
guys.
you.
I appreciate
Thanks for the
it.
update.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, of course. I know. I miss you guys. I'm like tired of sleeping in a hospital, you know.
Just want to get home.
But
yeah.
oh well.
All right.
Yeah. What do you do?
All right, Britt,
Dude,
let
All
us
right,
know.
guys. Well, have a good Monday.
All right, you
Talk to
too.
later.
too.
Bye-bye.
Oh, Britt Romney, everybody.
Or Britt McVeigh.
Yeah, or Britt McVeigh, her real name. You know, I like Britt Romney.
It's pretty good.
That's been her name on the radio for some time.
Pretty good, yeah, it's good.
So, yeah, everybody.
Jarrett Ryder.
It's awesome. All the prayers. We had an update because there were minor complications, if you will.
Minor, yeah.
And
He was a little preemie, kind of. I mean, he was small. I
He
mean,
was tiny.
like 5 pounds, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Thanks to all the members of the Star Army who have been praying for Britt and Seth. It's really cool to get an update.
Yeah.
So, little guy.
505-338-3700.
Jared said we have to call her Britt Momney now. Am I right?
Well,
I mean,
their second child. She's been a mom before.
yeah, but that's a
you know?
great nickname.
It's good.
Okay.
You know what? It's up to her if she wants to change it.
Okay.
You know?
Britt Momney.
Britt Momney.
So let's get back to the fact that radio stations still have listeners showing up with guns.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Well.
Gosh!
Where did that happen? It happened Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Early Sunday morning.
Yeah.
So
that's what I mean, thank goodness. Thank goodness nobody was killed, right?
yeah, amen to that. Are you kidding me?
What one of the guys got shot in the butt, got transported to the hospital, and no arrest has been made.
Oh. Okay. Madison police said Monday morning that detectives were becoming confident it was a targeted act against a specific person at the radio station. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That they did not have any, it does not have any relation to the current national dialogue on media, but that it was a deliberate attack against one of the DJs.
Yeah.
So, guys, if I've ever said anything, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, years ago, this happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
I had there was a guy that wanted to kill me.
Why?
Wanted to take me out.
Why would anybody want to harm you?
Buck and I did some stupid bit on the radio where we made up a fake reality show, like Who Wants reality show, but you would use your pets. People would put their pets up, they'd have to answer trivia questions. And if they got them wrong, they would bet their pet. And if they lost, they would have to euthanize the pet.
Oh,
it was fake. It was completely made up. I took the stance.
The worst bit.
I know, right? I took the stance that I thought this was amazing. I love it. I'll watch it. I support it because there's a lot of pets out there. I mean, overpopulation of pets. I don't believe that. I was playing a part. Well, this person who had a mental illness was listening, thought I was serious.
Thought you wanted to take out pets.
Wanted to take me out.
Why do you take the side of stupidity?
I did. I should have had Buck take the side. You know, I picked the wrong side.
Gosh.
But I was talking to my therapist. This is what's crazy about it. Come to find out, he was counseling the guy that wanted to take me out.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. It was crazy. Because I'm sitting there in my therapy session, and he goes, this is so weird. I was talking to a guy, and he was telling me how he wanted to go to a radio station and kill a DJ for what he said on the air. And I'm like, well, what did he say?
Oh, my gosh.
And my therapist didn't know it was me.
Right.
He had no idea. But when he told me, I was like, oh, my gosh.
I'm going to die.
Yeah. Luckily, he talked him out of it.
I'm so glad we just do wholesome things like
you just
virtual
never
church.
Know. You never know, man. Every day when I wake up, I know. I prepare myself. Anything can happen today. Anything can happen.
I didn't prepare myself this morning.
You didn't prepare yourself.
I did not. I just knew Amy was coming in from Bear Canyon. We were going to talk like physical health and well-being and mental health.
You never know, man.
Oh, great.
You never know what your day is going to look like. And, yeah, I mean, thank God that nothing bad happened, you know? I mean, when I look back on it, it's one of those situations where your faith grows a little bit because, you know, hey, I'm right where God wants me.
Yeah.
You know, you ask for that protection. But it's crazy. It's a crazy time. There's a lot of people out there with mental illnesses.
Yeah. I'm glad we're not doing weird bits like that. Let's just stick to the normal things.
Can you imagine if there was a show like that?
No, that would be horrible, and that would never fly in this day and age.
No, you wait.
Ever.
You wait.
It'd be like, okay, if they did that with people, but not with animals.
I know, right?
Oh, my gosh.
All right. Take a quick break. Coming up, I have a survival minute for you. We got to talk about people being stupid with wildlife. Also, we got a bunch of stupid criminals in the news this morning. And latest on Guardians of the Galaxy 3. James Gunn, you know, he got fired.
Yeah.
Somebody from the cast is stepping up in a big way. We'll talk about that when we come back. Live from the Dreamstyle Remodeling Star 88 Studios. Hang out.
Idolatry. It is strictly forbidden by God and often misunderstood, as Skip Heitzig says.
It's not like you're walking into the house one day and you see your idol. Oh, yes, God. I'm glad I saw that because I had forgotten. See, if you live in communion with Him and He is a reality in your life, you don't need a reminder.
Hotspot. Idolatry is not about artwork. It's about the human condition.
An idol is simply anything or anyone that replaces God. It's an idol.
Watch ConnectionOnline.org for news about an important new book Skip has coming out on September 1st.
He is all-powerful, and all of His resources, whether you feel or see or not, that's all irrelevant. We have a relationship.
Get the Skip Heitzig podcast on your mobile device and access thousands of Through the Bible teachings by Skip.
So the bottom line is people want a God they can see and touch, and one day you will. Until then, we walk by faith and not by sight.
Hotspot.
Tony Evans. This is a Star 88 Supernova.
The first need that God will can meet. If the Lord is your shepherd, He will meet your spiritual needs. He says, He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. What are you talking about, David? Simple. He restores my soul. The issues of life have drained. In other words, life has sucked you dry. Maybe it's a trial that won't go away. Maybe it's a loneliness that won't disappear. Maybe it's a sin that you sincerely desire to shake, and it is plaguing you. But whatever it is, it won't let you go.
That was Pastor Tony Evans on a Star 88 Supernova. This is Star 88 at 88.3 FM, KLYT, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, and online at star88.fm.
What am I doing with my life? I need some motivation. I'm somewhere in between insanity and desperation. Why doesn't anything go right? I need an explanation. I'm somewhere in between the tragedy and devastation. But I'm not worried about it. At least that's what you want me to say. But there ain't no way around it. I wanna run away, but I'm not living without you. So come away with me, and let's travel the world and see all the things that we've only seen on TV. But I'm not living without you. So come on, let's get away, and let's do all the things that we wanted to do. I don't care how long it takes. What am I doing with my time? I need some inspiration. Somewhere in between masterpiece and relaxation. What's going on inside my mind? I need some conversation. Somewhere in between humanity and isolation. But I'm not worried about it. At least that's what you want me to say. But there ain't no way around it. I wanna run away, but I'm not leaving without you. So come away with me, and let's travel the world and see all the things that we've only seen on TV. But I'm not leaving without you. So come on, let's get away, and let's do all the things that we wanted to do. I don't care how long it takes.
It's the Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O on Star 88.
Ever since you left, I've been taking it a day at a time. Stuck in my head, searching for a reason to the rhyme. I know you're wondering if I'm okay. I know you're asking how I make it through the day. Now I'm hanging up, and I think it's time that you do the same. you drinking it out? Why you making me need it? I move on, but you won't let me get you off my mind. Why you running me round? Now I gotta relive it. You never call me, but you keep me hanging on the line. Keep me on the line. Don't keep me on the line. Keep me on the line. Don't keep me on the line. Chasing every step till I figure out what brought us here. I say what you're too scared to say, even if it's not what you wanna hear. Maybe it's time to make a clean break. Gotta let this go for your own sake. Now I'm hanging up, and I think it's time that you do the same. Why you drinking it out? Why you making me need it? I move on, but you won't let me get you off my mind. Why you running me round? Now I gotta relive it. You never call me, but you keep me hanging on the line. Keep me on the line. Don't keep me on the line. Keep me on the line. Don't keep me on the line. Got my heart locked up all for yourself. Held my love hostage from everyone else. Twisted and tied up and caught in your spell. Why you drinking it out? Why you making me need it? I move on, but you won't let me get you off my mind. Why you running me round? Now I gotta relive it. You never call me, but you keep me hanging on the line. Why you drinking it out? Why you making me need it? I move on, but you won't let me get you off my mind. Why you running me round? Now I gotta relive it. You never call me, but you keep me hanging on the line. Keep me on the line. Don't keep me on the line. Keep me on the line. Don't keep me on the line. Keep me on the line. Don't keep me on the line. You won't let me get you off my mind. Don't keep me on the line, but you keep me hanging on the line.
Good morning.
The Morning Invasion
Part of a complete breakfast. You're stupid.
with Dex and Steve-O.
Good morning. Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Buenos dias. Welcome to the show. Tuesday. Dex and Steve out live from the Dreamstar Remodeling Star 88 Studios. Hey, Battle Drums Worship. They got some auditions going down. Maybe you're a singer. Maybe you can play an instrument. You guys should try out. Get it going, man. You can apply online. CalvaryABQ.org. You can go to star88.fm, get all the details. But August 11th, Saturday, they're holding auditions. Battle Drums Worship. Be a part of the team, man. Be a part of the team. Steve, are you going to be a part of the team?
I am a part of the team.
All right. Yeah, you are. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right, man.
Thanks, bro.
You're right.
Yeah. Thanks for forgetting. No.
It's all right, man. It's easy to do.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
505-338-3700 if you'd like to call in. Phone lines are wide open. And we're on Facebook and YouTube Live at Star 88 FM. Okay, nerd. Let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh, okay.
Let's go, bro. Come on. Snap, snap.
I don't want to. This is pretty crazy, guys. If you haven't heard, we talked about this a couple times, actually. You can catch it on demand, talking about James Gunn, director of Guardians of the Galaxy Volumes 1 and 2. And it just keeps getting crazier and crazier. He, about a decade ago, said a lot. I mean, we're talking hundreds. Some would say thousands even. I don't know exactly how many tweets he had from 10 years ago that were really, really inappropriate, not funny. His humor was pretty disgusting, and he even said he was a provocateur. He said things to try and get a rise out of people. He had since apologized for them. In fact, 6 years ago, he went public with it and talked about it as he was coming on for the first Guardians of the Galaxy. But the press at the time didn't really seem to care because what's Guardians of the Galaxy? No one cares.
Yeah.
Well, fast forward to 2018, and now everybody cares because everybody is very sensitive, sometimes rightly so, sometimes overly sensitive, and sometimes the mob mentality wins out. Well, it won out, and James Gunn was fired by Disney for his tweets from 10 years ago that had since been deleted years ago that just kind of resurfaced. We talked about that. We talked about our past. We talked about our words. We talked about forgiveness. We talked about consequences. But here's something that just keeps coming up, man. James Gunn has been pretty cool about the whole situation.
Yeah, I want to say something on that. The way he's responded is amazing because you see other celebrities, other people in the public eye that this is happening to, and they come up with excuses.
Oh, yeah.
No, James Gunn owned it, man, and he apologized.
I know
again.
Yeah, he did. He did apologize again. And this is to a much lesser degree, I know, but watching the Cejudo DJ fight on Saturday night, Demetrius Johnson, who was going for his 12th title defense. I mean, could be pound for pound greatest fighter of all time. Lost in a split decision and was so phenomenally gracious and talked about what he needed to do to get better and to come back stronger.
Yeah.
He didn't have any excuses. And so sometimes like we get knocked down and we immediately point fingers, and he owned it. Like James Gunn was like, dude,
you're right.
Yeah,
I said some terrible things.
I'm not that same person. This was 10 years ago. I've apologized numerous times, and I'm apologizing again. Like he just straight up, it wasn't like, well, actually, 6 years ago, I did bring this out, and it wasn't a big deal, but Fox News got wind of it, and because seriously, that's what happened. It hit this news story, and it blew up, and this mob mentality culture that we live in, just like, oh my gosh.
What do you think about? I know we're gonna get to the story here in a second.
Yeah.
But what do you think about? Because as Christians, we know when we give our lives to Christ, we're born again. You know?
Yeah.
And we say our past.
Right, God removes our sin, like as far as the east is from the, He remembers it no more. Like it's gone.
Do you think though, a lot of times we can, as Christians, can use that as an excuse
to not have to deal with stuff.
To not have to deal with stuff from your past, like, oh, you know what? That was in my past. That was BC.
Right.
I was different. Now I'm born again.
Which is true.
I get it.
But there's still going to be earthly consequences. Yeah. So I think it's both. I do think sometimes, unfortunately, our past can be used against us as well. But yeah, absolutely.
No, it's like a murderer, in prison. A lot of people in prison give their lives to Christ. You know? Does that mean
doesn't
let
mean
them
they
out?
just like let them
out.
Oh, they're reformed in their heart.
No, don't let them out.
There's still an earthly consequence to be paid. So yes. So James Gunn. There have been so many people. In fact, a petition was started and it reached like 500,000 like overnight. People were livid that James Gunn lost his job. Well, there had been a conversation, and Disney came back and said, you know what? There's like really no way to win, honestly. Like thinking about the situation. If Disney comes back and says, you know what? That was a pretty rash, like quick reaction. We're going to rehire him. Then the other side would lose their minds. But unfortunately, what happened is he wasn't rehired, and they're not going to. He had a script finished. They canned him, and it's what's done is done. Well, Dave Bautista, who plays Drax the Destroyer in the Guardians of the Galaxy films, has probably been one of, if not the most vocal supporter of James Gunn during this whole thing, and was doing an interview. A Shortlist talked about this. Dave Bautista says that he wants out of Guardians of the Galaxy if they do not at least use the script that James Gunn was working on when he was fired. Quote, I'm going to ask them to release me from my contract, cut me out, or recast me. I'd be doing James a disservice if I didn't, end quote. On Monday morning, he tweeted a shot at Marvel/Disney when somebody asked him how he felt about Guardians of the Galaxy 3. He said, I will do what I'm legally obligated to. But he added, it's pretty nauseating to work for someone who'd empower a smear campaign by fascists, hashtag cyber Nazis. That is how I feel, end quote. So it's getting like, we're at this weird place, man, where it's so contentious all around. Like, and I understand wanting to stand up for a friend, especially if you know their character and somebody was wrongfully terminated. Now, I used that term wrongfully terminated. I'm going, was he? He was fired for things he said a decade ago. He had since apologized. He had since deleted and is a completely different human being. He's written and directed 2 ridiculously successful movies for Marvel/Disney that have made an unbelievable amount of money. Yeah. But he was fired. And so, I don't know. Is it good that Dave Bautista's doing this?
Yeah, I think so.
Like kind of just jumping out and saying, hey, man,
I wouldn't be surprised if we
counts?
see more of the cast doing the same thing, you know, which kind of saddens me because honestly, they're either just going to scrap Guardians of the Galaxy 3 altogether or they're going to recast it, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, which stinks because
I hate when they recast a character.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he's one of the best things about Guardians of the Galaxy. His character is amazing.
Of course, everyone and their mother has reached out to Disney for a comment, but there has not been one from Disney. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not like Disney is hurting for money. You know what I'm saying? So, do they look at it? Oh my gosh, we're going to lose out on $1 billion doing Guardians of the Galaxy 3 if we don't take James Gunn back? Or is it like, you know what? Fine. If that's what you guys want. We don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Are they going to hold their ground? Or are they going to budge?
Well, it doesn't sound good for the movie in general. It was supposed to be one of Marvel's unnamed 2020 releases. I can't believe we're coming close to having news for movie releases in 2020. Jeez. But obviously that's probably changed, and now they're thinking it might just be put on the back burner. Somebody says, is it wrongful termination since they had full disclosure of these public comments and could have hired or not accordingly years ago? And he did publicly talk about them and apologize 6 years ago when he was directing the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
I feel like that's Disney's fault. They should have done a better job of looking into who they hire. If they're gonna go at it like they did, they need to do a better job of researching who they hire.
Right. Well, I mean, again, this was a story that broke 6 years ago, and he apologized for everything. Everything was deleted then, and they didn't seem to think it was a big deal. But now, they're some of the biggest. It's one of the biggest franchises in the world, and you get enough people barking a certain way, and we kind of succumb to this like mob mentality, which is really, really interesting. Because literally everybody who has worked with him has come out in support, which is the antithesis of what happened with Roseanne. Like, everybody just kind of distanced themselves, and they were like,
Right? Well,
what you see is what you get. That's Roseanne.
That's it. Roseanne's got a drug addiction.
But on the flip side, like, everyone came to the defense of James Gunn saying, dude, this was 10 years ago. This wasn't the same thing. This wasn't a tweet from last night high on Ambien.
It's probably a different outcome as well because of how James Gunn handled the situation, like we just said.
Yeah.
He owned it. He didn't come up with an excuse like Roseanne did.
Right.
He owned it.
Yeah. Kurt Russell actually yesterday spoke. He played Ego the Living Planet in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And he finally got vocal about the director, James Gunn, with whom he worked for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. He said, "It's sad, but it's part of our fabric now, and I get it. But I do think we're getting a little too sensitive on maybe some of the wrong people. You have to realize that when you are in a world as a comedian, a writer, whatever, you're always stretching the boundaries and trying to find something which led him to something that the world loves, which is Guardians of the Galaxy. He has a wonderful heart and a wonderful mind, and I hope he is forgiven," end quote. So, yeah, maybe if anything, this will like serve as a lesson in responding versus reacting.
Mm-hmm.
We're so reactionary as a culture right now. Like, we really are. So, somebody said he was wrongfully terminated, Steve-O. We live in the age where if someone is offended, the movies apparently doesn't matter what time frame. It's considered more of a liability regardless of the justification. If we all were held accountable for saying or doing something in our past, I think a large majority of us would be jobless. People grow, people change. We should not punish those for becoming a better person.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else said most states are at-will employment states, meaning you can get fired for any reason or no reason at all, as long as it's not protected, such as race, gender, etc. Disney would have been better off to fire him without actually stating a reason why. Not that I support his termination.
Yeah.
Somebody said if he had tweeted about our president, he would be hailed as a hero. Somebody else said, I wonder how much of this media attention will actually hurt Marvel. Disneyland is creating a Marvel Land in Disney's California Adventure, and I wonder how much this will affect that.
Wow.
But you're right. Like, it's Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you just get to a place where it's like, meh,
right?
We're Disney.
Yeah.
We're just going to keep putting them out. People are going to keep going to them. And sometimes they're going to succeed. Not case in point this weekend. Mission Impossible Fallout crushed the Winnie the Pooh movie.
Yeah, right? I thought that would be a pretty good
I did too.
Pretty good race to number one, but
yeah.
Man, Fallout. Guys.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah.
I
saw it. Steve-O hasn't yet.
I haven't. I need to. We're like, I don't know. Mark says, but on the other hand, don't we need to be more cognizant of our words and actions? I don't support what happened to James Gunn, but this has us talking. And it's true. Maybe we do need to be more consciously aware of what we say, what comes out of our mouth. I mean, every time we've talked about this, we go back to the book of James. It talks at length about taming the tongue.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a good conversation with Landon, yesterday about how your actions, the way that you are acting right now, I taught him the mic is always on rule, you know, which
we learned that yesterday.
Daniel brought up and reminded us, the mic is always on.
Mic's always on. Even
we were
producer says it's off.
On break. We went to break and, the board operator, Andrew, forgot to turn off our mics. So we're talking while it's on the air during a song. Mics are always on kind of thing. So I explained to Landon, because I filmed him, and I was going to post it on Facebook and Instagram because it was hilarious. And he flipped out on me and told me to take it down. And so it was a good opportunity. Hey, man, you never know who's watching, who's listening, who's filming you.
Yeah.
What if you didn't know that I was filming you and this went viral? Next thing you know, you are a famous YouTube star making all this money. I was so trying to get him to have me upload it, but he wouldn't go for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got to be careful, man.
Somebody said this is why in the past week I deleted 11 years of Facebook posts. I will now only have my current post up on my Facebook. I don't know what I said 10 years ago. Different person back then.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's weird, right? With that On Today feature that we get on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Your timeline, your history or whatever.
I love that feature because it not only brings back memories, but you also get to kind of see how you've grown as a person.
Yeah.
I actually posted
Which is
that.
hard because when you're deleting everything, does that mean you have the potential to forget where you came from? I mean, sometimes they sting, but we have those reminders of like sin in our past that we're like, oh man, I remember how that felt. I don't ever want to go through that again.
Yeah.
So constantly deleting our past, I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah, that is true.
Somebody said, by the way, yesterday was beautiful. I heard it in all its glory. Us talking during the break.
Yeah. Gosh. Thank goodness you weren't
yeah,
saying something that you shouldn't have said.
well, it was good because I don't talk like that.
Just kidding.
Dex. Looper chimed in and said, I kind of think that this goes all the way back to what happened to Paula Deen. She said legitimate racist remarks 30 years prior, and she got canned for it 30 years later when someone decided they were offended by something that she did. Wow. Does anybody believe the same way now that they did 30 years ago? I mean, comically, and you know, I just set up like a place in my record room with like my Transformers.
It looks beautiful, by the way.
Ninja Turtles. So, yeah, I still love all the same toys.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't changed much.
Not at all.
Yeah, he's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I can make it through the night without having to use the potty.
Really?
Yeah, that's different.
Yep, he's the same. Yesterday, today, and forever.
Yeah.
Will never change.
So, yeah, pretty much. So Looper said, my reminders are to show me how fat I used to be.
Yeah.
Somebody else said, if our current employment was based on who we were 10 years ago, I wonder how many of us would be fired regardless of our career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Man.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Hopefully we learned a little something.
Hopefully.
From other people's mistakes. All right, we got to take a break. Live from the Dreamstar Remodeling Star 88 Studios. We're also live on YouTube and Facebook at Star 88 FM. When we come back, talk about some stupid people making stupid mistakes. Again, my survival minute, guys. I'm going to teach you guys how to survive. Be right back. Hang on.
Evangel Christian Academy is a private school that is Christ-centered for tomorrow's leaders. With affordable tuition, small classes, a great sports program, and a secure facility, Evangel strives to equip students for the work God has for them. Our high school utilizes dual credit through C&M by offering 4 courses on our academy campus taught by our staff. Evangel uses a leadership-driven and individualized learning model to help prepare your student to stand strong in their faith and be ready for the real world. To further speak to individual students with various circumstances, we have a Christian-focused online homebound program for up to 20 students, grade 6 through 12. For more information about our programs, grade K through 12, please call 505-883-4674 or go online to ecanm.info. That's ecanm.info.
A solar flare from Thomas Jefferson. It is in our lives and not our words that our religion must be read. Star 88 with a solar flare. As a Christian, you have a hope to share. With more, here's Matt Chandler on a Star 88 PowerPoint.
You and I are living and breathing and operating in a culture that values achievement above and beyond anything else. What you and I, via every little inlet we have, are being taught, are hearing, is that we must achieve to be of any real value. You see this everywhere. We value steps and process more than we value time and patience. We want mechanical steps, not organic growth, right? So we were like, just tell me what to do. This is broken. Just give me the 4 things I'm supposed to do to make this not be broken, as if life ever obeyed that desire. We want doing and we don't trust being. We are warped by shame and are told on every front that we are not enough.
That's Matt Chandler on a Star 88 PowerPoint.
What's going on in the news today?
Richard Gates became the first member of the Trump campaign to admit to crimes on the witness stand. Special counsel Robert Mueller charged Gates and Paul Manafort with dozens of counts related to their lobbying efforts on behalf of foreign governments. But Gates agreed to flip on his former boss in exchange for leniency.
The U.S. will reimpose stiff economic sanctions on Iran.
Temperatures soar from coast to coast.
8 million people under heat advisories.
Massive wildfires raging across California.
11 children rescued from appalling living conditions in a hidden compound. The youngest just 1 year old. Now 5 adults are facing charges.
NASCAR chairman and CEO Brian France arrested Sunday night in Sag Harbor, New York for driving while intoxicated and also for possession of a controlled substance. YouTube, Apple, and Facebook joining Spotify in removing content from Alex Jones and his InfoWars brand.
Robert Redford, who turns 82 this month, says he is retiring from acting after an on-screen career that spanned more than half a century.
Let's go meet the preppers. Let's go meet the prepper family.
Meet the preppers. Kids, these are our beekeeper suits. We have these in the event that tiny nanobot drones attempt to nest in our thyroids.
What's a nanobot?
I am not sure.
Our neighbors say you're weird.
Then they're no longer invited to share our preps.
I wish I was no longer invited.
Shut up, Timmy, you have no arms. These are radios, kids. This is how we'll stay in contact. Just push this button, and you can contact the whole family.
How can I push the button with no arms?
Oh my
You maintain radio silence.
Daddy, this is number 1.
It's not a toy, Kaylee.
Timmy won't share the deer meat over.
Not a toy, Kaylee! Here we have algae on a stick, a typical prepper lunch.
Daddy?
What?
I don't like algae.
Your mother worked hard on this algae.
Can I have a cookie?
You know, after ice-hitting robots vaporize the polar ice caps, there'll be no cookies.
Are there cookies now?
Fine, whatever. Go get a cookie.
Prepping's hard.
I can't be part of this.
Life's hard.
Oh, man.
Think about an elk and how hard it is for that guy. He's constantly having to run away from wolves, grizzlies, fighting for his life.
Gosh, Dexter Survival Minute. How to maintain employment when your bits are stupid.
I'll never be fired. And you know what? If I do, I know how to survive.
Oh, man.
I grew up in Montana. Grew up in the woods. Was taught a few things. My dad was a trapper, hunter, taxidermist. So he knows a few things, and he passed it down. We lived about an hour away from West Yellowstone National Park. Beautiful. And one of the big things that you'll see when you go to Yellowstone National Park is the buffalo. I don't know if you've ever seen a buffalo up close, Steve-O. They're beautiful creatures. They're beautiful. They're quite a lot bigger than a cow. And I think they're definitely more beautiful than a cow, for sure. Well, what do people at parks do when they see something beautiful?
They want to take a picture of it.
They want to take a picture of something. They want to get near it. They want to pet it.
Yeah, oh, man, no. I just want to take a picture.
Well, this is where this person didn't want to take a picture. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if the guy was drunk. I'm not sure. But there's a video that went viral over the weekend of a man taunting a massive bison. Check this out. Somebody in the car was filming. This guy was outside of his car, and he was taunting the buffalo, the bison. And he was actually like trying to get the bison to come at him. Well, the bison's like, okay, you want me, bro? Charges at the dude.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And the guy is just like acting like an idiot. He actually did get gored by the bison. He's fine. Well, he's lucky to be alive, that's for sure. But he got arrested.
Oh, thank God. I'm like, what happened to this guy?
Yeah, this idiot.
What a dumb.
Yeah, it's called wildlife harassment, and you'll go to jail, bro. You go to jail.
I'm actually happy for this story. Like,
Yeah,
I was
right?
so irritated until just now. I didn't know wildlife harassment was a thing. But if you watch the video, which I don't recommend, this guy's taunting a bison.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. He must have been drinking or something, or he was just an idiot, just trying to show off in front of his kids. But yeah, here's the one thing about bison, also known as buffalo. They look sweet, they look cuddly, but they are not at all.
No.
Much like a bear.
Yeah.
Bears, they look like you just want to crawl up, just cuddle a bear. No, they want to eat your face off. They're meat eaters. And even though bison aren't meat eaters, they'll trample you. They have horns. They'll kill you. They've actually killed people at the park because of idiots that want to get out and take photos
Yeah,
or
that
put their
guy-
baby on top of a buffalo.
That's unfortunate.
Isn't that crazy?
To be fair, though, we talked earlier about people's histories and their past. It's technically not that guy's fault. You see, when you're in the wilderness and you're looking at certain journeys, that guy just chose the psychopath.
It's true. No, get out of here.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Mark?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Why do you make yourself out to be some kind of like Daniel Boone, Davy Crockett guy? Like, I grew up in the wilderness.
Who's
Come
this?
on,
Go
dude.
ahead, caller.
You know what? Don't even start that crap. Don't even start it.
You know, tell me why. Tell me why I'm not.
Really? How do you start a fire by yourself with nothing?
Really? You really asking me this? How do I start a fire
Yes,
without
I'm asking you
nothing?
this. Yeah. How do you start a fire out in the wilderness?
With sticks and branches and stuff, dude. Come on.
No, but I'm talking about how do you get the spark going? How do you actually make a fire from nothing?
All right, you take 2 sticks, all right? You're going to want to take a flat stick, all right? And you're want to take a longer, skinnier stick.
What do you mean a flat? What do you mean a flat stick? Like flat like a piece of paper, like a ruler?
Oh my gosh, just listen to what I have to say, all right? Because I'm teaching you something, all right? All right, you're going to get a somewhat thick stick that's flat, okay? You're going to put that on the ground. You're going to take a round, long stick, all right? And you're going to then put that between your hands and put the tip of the... You're being loud. I can't focus. Can you roll up your window, please? And then you're going to twist. You're going to go left, right, left, right.
Clockwise. Left, right.
Yep, left, right, left, right, left, right. Really fast. It's going to create.
So counterclockwise.
It's going to create an amber. Okay. Once you get the amber, you're going to put that into a little pile of brush, and you're going to blow on it until it ignites.
Amber, like the stuff that the bugs where the DNA was in Jurassic Park, or are you talking about embers?
You know what?
Yeah.
You know I grew up in the wilderness. You know I did.
I'm just curious. Which one are we talking about?
You know what? Don't you dare put me on blast. Just because I didn't share my wildlife experience with me when we were together doesn't mean I'm not a mountain man, okay? Steve-O gets me and understands me.
No.
Okay, Steve-O does not believe for 1 second
He does.
that you're a mountain man and you're a survivalist and you're a prepper. He does not believe that.
I don't know, man.
He believes.
He is, like I said earlier, he has proven that he is a survivalist because he somehow still has a job with all of these terrible bits.
That is true.
So
that is true. How have I lasted in radio for so long?
He has survived
Just because
for years.
covered in hair from head to toe does not make you a mountain man.
Well,
all right?
I mean, I had to adapt and evolve in the conditions that I was placed in as a young man because it was so cold, man. It was so cold.
You make it sound like it was 300 and your dad took you and dropped you off into the woods with a stick and you had to survive to get back.
He
Come
did. When I was 4 years old,
on.
he left me out in the wilderness.
So, you know, the one thing that you did say that was true in this whole scenario was when you were talking about the buffalo, because I can vouch for what you said, because when I was in Yellowstone, I was fishing in Firehole Creek, and I'm standing in the middle of this little river fishing, and this group of buffalo, I guess the herd of buffalo came up, and they were grazing around this little river, and I literally had to stand in the water for an hour until they left, because they're so massive. They're like the size of a bus.
Yeah. And they'll come at you.
Not like a bus, but like a van, you know, like a mystery machine van.
Yes.
They're big.
They're huge,
Dude,
man.
somebody chimed in with the story of a dude from Estes Park, Colorado, where a bunch of elk just kind of walk around everywhere. Guy was trying to take a selfie with like 7 bull elk. He was 15 feet away. One of them got up and straight up gored him. 7 stab wounds.
Yeah.
He was in the hospital for over 2 weeks. I'm just like, I don't even, ow.
Yeah.
Why would, I don't get that. I don't get that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe we should make T-shirts and sell them that say like "Elk don't play, homie" or something like that.
Yeah. You're basically walking up to a wild animal that has swords attached to its head. Like, what are you thinking? Like, what are you thinking?
I know.
They're cute. They're
All right,
very
listen,
cute, though.
Grizzly Adams, I got to drive my car off.
You let me know if you ever need any survival tips. You know I got your back.
If I need any survival tips, I still have Bear Grylls' number. I'll give him a call.
Okay. All right. Goodbye, caller.
All right.
I don't know who that guy is. Yeah. You know, we could just hang up on that guy next time. Yeah. Producer, thank you. Appreciate it. 505-338-3700. So again, back to my survival moment.
Yeah.
Guys, don't ever do this. Don't ever get out of the car and try to get a selfie, a photo near any kind of wildlife, right? Really, you just shouldn't do it. Even a deer. People don't realize deer attack people as well. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like a deer, you wouldn't think. I didn't think deer attacked people until I saw it happen. David O's, 1992. We were hanging out. Deer grazing.
I don't believe you.
I'm serious, man. David O's got attacked by a deer. Wow. Happens all the time.
It happens all the time.
You guys need any tips? I'm always here for you. You know that. I got your back.
By the way, that guy that was taunting the bison had just been arrested in Grandleton for DUI.
Oh, see?
He was drunk in Yellowstone as well.
Gosh.
I just don't.
I knew it. Yep, let's get out of the car and let's taunt a bison.
I got to be honest though, I watching the video, I didn't realize it was like that. Like all these cars in 2 lanes and there's giant bison in the road.
Mm-hmm.
That would be so frustrating. Like I can't handle Paseo at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine being stuck somewhere and not moving because there's like a bear in front of you.
Right. How about if there was a rhino in front of you?
Oh my gosh!
There's a pretty cool video that you guys can find.
That is not a cool video.
These rhinos are dinosaurs, man. This rhino at a safari park starts ramming an SUV.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
That's a big old piece of the SUV just lying in the road now.
Guess no one was hurt. The SUV was able to drive away. The rhino was on alert because it caught wind of a female that was ready to mate.
So they took it out on a Kia Sorento.
Yeah. Better get out of here. That rhino just thinks that stupid
Dude.
car is another rhino, probably.
It was trying to flip it over.
Yeah. It's like, get out of here, man. Doesn't know it's a car.
What's the leading animal-related death?
The leading animal-related death?
Mm-hmm.
I would probably say, like, come
on, bro. You're a survivalist. You should know this.
I want to say the leading death when it comes to wildlife is probably insect bites.
No.
Snakes?
No. The cow.
The cow?
Yeah, heart disease, hamburgers.
I hate everybody. I hate everybody. I was really, really racking my brain. It's like, man, I should know this. And then you said the cow, and I immediately thought it's because they think that they're so nice and they won't hurt you. But cows, same thing, man. They'll charge you too.
Okay, but do you want me to be honest with you?
Yeah, what is it?
The mosquito. You were
Oh,
right.
thank you.
I looked it up.
mosquito.
You were right. Most dangerous animal to humans is not like this crazy predator, but yes, an insect. Mosquitoes are responsible for around 725,000 deaths per year. Most of them considered nothing more than like a summer evening nuisance.
Yeah.
But yep, deadliest animal on Earth. Mosquito-borne illnesses, malaria, West Nile, yellow fever, Zika. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2?
Before you move on to number 2, can I tell you how to make some mosquito repellent? I'm serious.
I just choked on my own spit
If
because you looked so serious.
I am serious. All right.
I don't believe you.
I'm serious.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. If you're ever out in the wild and skeeters are just coming at you,
yeah.
Here's what you do: you find wildlife poop. Okay, you're gonna want to find some good nuggets. Could be bear poop. Could be cow manure. It could be deer. You throw that in the fire. Instant bug repellent.
Yeah, instant everything repellent.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be around
It's
you.
gonna stink, but hey, you're not getting bit.
Yeah.
A lot of life hack for you.
Okay.
What's second?
Humans.
Mm-hmm.
That's number 2, seriously.
I mean, if you consider us animals.
Well,
I mean,
okay.
I mean, are you saying we're animals?
I mean, that's death among humans, like at the hand of your fellow man. That's next. Next.
Well, I think I said it earlier. Snakes.
Snakes,
The
man.
second on my list.
Yeah. Snakes kill stupid amounts of people annually, like 50,000. Fatal bites by venomous snakes often go unreported, which could mean that the figure of 50,000 could actually be even higher. And people don't take that threat seriously.
Yeah.
Next.
If you get bit by a poisonous snake, you got to make sure to keep your heart rate down. You don't want to run because if you're pumping that blood, it's going to get to your heart quicker.
Man.
Kill you.
Somebody says, I can actually attest to the mosquito part. 9 years ago, I was in a week-long coma after getting meningitis from a mosquito bite. Thank God you're alive,
I
man.
just got taken out by a skeeter.
That's crazy. Okay, what animal next? What animal next? If you guys missed it, we're talking about the world's deadliest animals.
Dog.
Dang it. Are you just reading the list?
Dude, I'm a survivalist.
I hate you. You're just reading my
I am
list.
not. I'm a survival expert. I saw it.
Yes, it's dog. It's dog. The mosquito, the human, snakes, and then dog next. Not because of vicious maulings by household pets. Like, this is actually feral stray dogs infected with rabies attacking people, spreading disease. So it's usually disease-related. Yeah.
You know, in Australia, they actually hunt dogs.
That's weird.
Yeah, because there's so many of them out there.
It's really weird. Okay. That's all for my list.
Is that it?
That's
Okay.
it. I'm done with this.
There you go. Hopefully you guys learned a little something. Don't listen to that caller that called in and said, I don't know anything. I didn't share a lot of my tips on that last show I was on with that last caller. See, I feel like I can make a difference.
I still say cows, man. Number 1, heart disease.
Cows, yeah. It's good. It's good. You know, I mean, that's right. I mean, cows take out a lot of people, man. Heart disease is no joke.
Somebody was like, no, dude, cows really attack. Look it up. It's real.
It's true.
Yeah.
I don't recommend cow tipping. That's no fun.
Okay.
You better be a strong man, because the first time you try to run into a cow, it's going to be like hitting a brick wall. You ever done cow tipping before?
No, I cannot say that
Don't
I've
ever do it,
ever
Steve. You're
done.
not big enough.
Yeah, no, of course not.
Not big enough.
I couldn't. Why? I don't understand that.
You
one.
would ricochet right off it.
That's utterly ridiculous. We should move on.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Was this Star?
Yeah, go ahead. Survival questions. Go ahead.
Hey, I was just calling because I wanted to talk to someone. I just want to make sure I heard what your DJs were talking about on the radio right this morning.
What year is it?
Huh?
What year is it?
He was talking on his blog about jerking off and how fun it is to.
Well, dumped that. I don't understand humans. What just happened? Those are people who listen to the show?
Oh my gosh.
That's a first. And a last.
Yes.
Mm. All right.
What were we talking about?
Yeah, that's a good question.
505-585-LIVE. You can text in. We're no longer taking phone calls from here on out.
Yeah,
That's,
right. Till the end of time.
Not going to happen ever again.
Apologize for anyone watching on Facebook or YouTube.
Just got to take a second here to gather myself. Just give me 1 second.
Trolls, man.
Please continue to hold.
What was that about, bro?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Please continue to hold.
That was seriously the oddest thing we've ever had happen.
Don't touch me right now.
I hate people.
Please continue to hold.
All right, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Rodney said, was that set up? No. In all honesty, no, it was absolutely not. That was disgusting, and I apologize if anybody. Yeah. Thankfully, we have a delay and a dump. And people are like, what happened? You guys had to dump somebody. We did. That's what happens when somebody fakes like they have a real question and then just trolls.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. That hasn't happened in a long time. Moving on.
Moving on.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, good job on the reflexes, bro.
Thanks,
that was
man.
like
Thanks,
instantaneous,
dude.
by the way.
Thanks,
Proud
dude.
of you.
Yeah. Thank
Proud
you.
of you. Yeah.
All right. Do you want to talk about people getting plastic surgery to look like Snapchat filters?
I'm sorry.
Or a man who got fired because of a man bun?
Both of those are so ridiculous. Thankfully, we only have 3 minutes. I would love to talk about the man bun because I didn't realize it's still a thing. That's still a thing?
Steve-O had one 2 years ago?
I did, a couple years ago, yeah. Brody currently kind of like, he's got like Viking hair, as he calls it.
26-year-old guy in London named Sid recently got a job as a customer service assistant with British Airways. At the end of his training, he got fired because of his man bun. Check out this man bun. You got to see this. It's beautiful. Looks like you. That's how you did your hair, man.
No.
Exactly. Yeah, the beard. It kind of looks just like you.
Good buddy.
Same skin tone.
No.
Now, the company said it doesn't fit their uniform policy, so of course, he's saying that's sexist against him because they definitely let a woman wear her hair in a bun. He's got a great point. He's got a great point. As far as we know, though, he's not willing to get rid of the bun, and he's not planning on suing. He just wants to complain.
Okay. How very... Oh, my gosh.
I think he's got a case there, man. You know?
But he doesn't want to sue, or he literally just wants to complain?
I guess, hey, you know what? Maybe he realized, hey, if they can't accept my man bun, they can't accept me, Man bun comes with me,
Thiep says they're not man buns, they're just buns, man.
They're buns?
He didn't say buns, man, but that's kind of funny. It's not a man bun, it's a bun, man. Just a bun.
If work said, hey, we need you to start shaving your head, what would you do?
Wait, here?
Yeah. Let's say if work said,
hey, bro, you got to shave your head.
We're going to need you to start shaving your head.
For what
new company
purpose?
policy.
Like just cuz?
Yeah, healthier,
'Cause
cleaner, lice. you know.
All of a sudden we joined a cult?
Sure.
Yeah, no. I'd probably just roll.
You'd roll?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's not fair. You already have a shaved head. That's discrimination.
It's not my fault.
It is actually, well, it's technically genetics.
Exactly.
So
Thank
it's
you.
not your fault. I apologize for that.
I'm
It's
not
insensitive.
bald, by the way. I shave my head.
Balding.
It's thinning.
Yeah.
It's thinning.
No, would you?
What?
I mean, we do have to adhere to a dress code.
Right.
But if you have to change your appearance, that's just weird to me that a flight attendant would not be allowed to put their hair up.
Aren't you going to respect the authority above you, Steve-O? And if the authority above you says to shave your head, why aren't you going to shave your head? Huh?
Why am I going to... What?
Why aren't you respecting the authority placed above you?
Because that's dumb. Because it's a private company and you still have like free... You could totally choose to just go. What do you mean?
You can leave. You can be
could
fired.
respect the authority, or you could choose to
You can be
remove yourself
fired.
from the
You
situation.
know what? You want to quit? Let me know. You want to quit, or should I fire you?
I'm like, what happened to you?
Or here's some clippers.
Gosh.
Here's some clippers, man. Either shave, or you can leave, or I'll fire you. It's that simple. It's easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How is it different if a company tells you that you have to change a certain way of how you do things at your job? How is that different? You're not even paying attention to me. You're reading.
No, it's because the person that called in was dead serious, and they just sent us like a nasty email. So I apologize.
Oh.
We have to go to break anyway, so who cares?
Oh. Okay, gotta read this. All
yeah.
right. Good. All right, well, let's see. It's Tuesday. We got another hour if you guys want to chime in.
Weirdo.
When we come back, what apps do you hate? A couple elderly guys escaped a nursing home. We'll find out why. And yeah, seriously, people are getting plastic surgery to look like Snapchat filters. What is happening? What is happening, guys? We're live from the Dreamstyle Remodeling Star DA Studios. We'll be right back.
For over 40 years, La Salita Restaurant has been serving New Mexican food to Albuquerque. From starters like soups, salads, and Cindy nachos to entrees like chili rellenos, burrito de Eduardo, the BOG burrito, and carne adobada. La Salita is friendly to those who are vegan or gluten-free and offers catering, as well as a rewards program at 1950 Wansabo or online at lasalita.com. Star 88 thanks La Salita for their support.
This week on Connect with Skip Heitzig, Skip points out that your attitude determines your actions.
Have the same attitude toward people that Jesus had toward people. So if my outlook is selfish, my actions will be divisive and destructive. If my outlook is self-sacrificing, then the outcome will be edifying, unifying.
Connect with Skip this week as he continues the series Technicolor Joy.
Make an appointment for Skip Heitzig weekdays at 8 a.m. on our sister station, KNKT 107.1 FM. This is a fresh thought. Listen up to Levi Lusko.
Teach us to realize the brevity of life so that we may grow in wisdom. I can see it now. Some of you, you're 17, you're 24. Not me. I'm the problem of my life. Before you're going to blink. You're going to blink and decades are going to pass. And the longer you live, the faster it goes. Time is not on your side. I like how Aristotle put it. He said, we should measure time in heart throbs. And every time your heart beats, it's a gift. And you're not guaranteed it's going to happen again. 5 years, you might not live 3. 5 years, you might be in the ground in 6 months. Our life, Peter said, quoting the prophet Isaiah, look at it, is like the flower of the grass.
For more fresh thoughts, go to LeviLusko.com. This is KLYT Albuquerque, Santa Fe, rebroadcast on KKCJ Cannon Air Force Base, KPKJ Mintmore, K201CC Las Cruces, K203EZ Alamogordo, K207CQ Gallup, K211CW Hobbs, K212EH Silver City, K214DE Antonito, K218AK Artesia, K250AB Roswell, K293AO Alamosa, K228DQ Portales, in the free app for iOS and Android, and online at star88.fm.
One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, over and over again. Going right back to the start, starting from where we begin. And I don't wanna be your friend, I just wanna be in love. And even if I'm chasing you is good enough. I keep on running back to you. I can't lose this time. And no matter what I do, I can't lose my. I keep on running back to you. I can't lose this time. And no matter what I do, I can't lose my. Fit, I throw a fit, and I leave you alone. And I don't wanna be your love, and I just wanna be your love. And even if I'm chasing you, no matter what, I keep on running back to you. I can't lose this time, and no matter what I do, I can't lose my. I keep on running back to you. I can't lose this time. And no matter what I do, I can't lose my. I keep on running back to you. I keep on running back to you. I can't lose my. Lose this time, and no matter what I do, I can't lose my. I keep on running back to you. I can't lose this time, and no matter what I do, I can't lose my. I can't lose my.
The Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O.
Cause we don't look like the girls on the
one who made the stars. Baby, that's just who we are. Take back what was taken. All those lies are fake. We're gonna tear them all apart. Let the truth invade our hearts. Every freckle, every scar. You're a work of art. Baby, that's just who you are. You're a work of art. Every freckle, every scar. You're a work of art. Baby, that's just who you are. So girl, I want you to go. Shout it out loud. Shout it out loud. I want you to go. I want you to go. Shout it out loud. Shout it out loud. Shout it out loud. Every freckle, every scar. Work out, baby, that's just who we are. Every freckle, every scar. Work out, baby, that's just who we are. And shout it out, baby. Let 'em know. Let the whole wide world know. Let the world know. Let 'em know who we are. Yeah. That's just who we are. So shout it out. Go. Every freckle, every scar. Baby, that's just who you are. You're a work of art.
It's the Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
I couldn't agree more.
Oh, man.
I couldn't agree more.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Dex and Steve-O, live from the Dream Style Remodeling Star 88 Studios. Thank you guys for hanging out with us on a beautiful Tuesday.
Amazing.
You guys can chime in on Facebook and YouTube at Star 88 FM. And you guys can text in. We got a live line. What's that number?
505-585-LIVE to text into the show. That's 505-585-5483. That might be the better way to chime in this morning, because if you call in and say crass or horrible words that we can't say because they're FCC violations and you could get fined for using disgusting sexual terminology, we're going to hang up on you.
We'll dump you, man. We got to
Yeah.
dump you.
Yeah.
Dump you and move on.
Is it ironic that that happened? And literally this morning we were talking about the book of James, chapter 3, and taming our tongues, because what a great forest is set on fire by a small spark. The tongue is a fire, man. Maybe just wait on that.
Yep.
Maybe just wait on that. Although I guess on the flip side, because there is a delay and a dump, it's not immortalized like, say, on Twitter a decade ago.
Yeah, exactly.
What an odd morning.
Yeah, hey, you know, sign of the times, man. You know,
Sign of the times. Listen, Harry Styles.
You like that? You like that? Yeah, times are changing, man. You know.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, you could get an easy eyebrow lift, you know, and people didn't really talk about it all that much.
Oh,
you
look,
know?
the phone lines.
Maybe you need a tummy tuck, you know? When I got my tummy tuck,
Stop
it was
it.
easy.
Stop it.
You know?
Stop it.
Now,
Random people will take you seriously.
now people are getting plastic surgery to look like they're Snapchat filters.
What?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
According to 3 dermatologists from the Boston University School of Medicine, there's been a big increase in the number of people who are getting plastic surgery so they look like they're Snapchat filters. You know, I like a good Snapchat filter. In fact, I've been known to use them a lot. And you can definitely look a lot better. I mean, there's one that just takes away like every wrinkle. It literally takes off like 15, 20 years of your life. When you look at the before and after, you go,
oh, I know.
Oh, my gosh.
Yesterday, we kind of went crazy on that. We were live on remote, and Daniel was broadcasting during the midday, and you and I were just kind of hanging out and watching Holly and Dustin and everybody go to work for Feed New Mexico Kids, and we were playing with all the filters, and I discovered a bunch.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
But you know what I like about it? That you could change it, and that it's just a filter on your phone. It's not real life. Can we talk about this?
Yeah, Snapchat, if you don't know what these filter things are, it's when you take a picture or a video of yourself, it's augmented reality, basically, where it can change. The filters can add effects to your face to make your eyes bigger, maybe a different color. Can make you have like your like it could shape your jawbone better. It can make you look thinner. I mean, it's incredible to see what some of these filters can do. Well, now people are getting plastic surgery so they can look like some of these Snapchat filters.
Yeah.
The doctors say, quote, Snapchat dysmorphia has patients seeking out cosmetic surgery to look like filtered versions of themselves with fuller lips, bigger eyes, or a thinner nose. It's an alarming trend because those filtered selfies often present an unattainable look and are blurring the line of reality and fantasy for these patients. They say it's definitely a sign of a big change. People used to look at celebrities for inspiration for plastic surgery. Now they're looking to Snapchat filters. It kind of makes sense. It really does. Because that filter, man, you can tell when somebody uses a Snapchat filter. I mean, it literally takes away all the wrinkles.
It looks fake. I'm not a fan of those. Like,
makes your eyes stand out a little bit fuller and bigger. Makes your lips a little bit more plump.
Makes you look less like a real human being.
Yeah, it takes away all the flaws, man.
Yeah,
I kind of like it.
Okay,
kind of like it. So in a way, I can kind of understand why people want to do it. You know, man. Did you see the latest with science? They figured out how to reverse aging in mice. They shot up some mice, and some older mice, and it took away wrinkles. It actually like reversed it in the mice. It's the first time they've been able to do it in history.
Man, I'm okay. I think for the first time in a long, like, I'm okay. This is life. We get older. Scripture talks about like your white hair, like your gray hairs, the wisdom in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but dude, we're kind of getting the raw end of the deal, man.
What? Why?
Think about it. How long did Noah live? Like almost 1,000 years, dude. What
I
we
wouldn't
get like
want to.
we get like what if we're lucky 80 years? If we're lucky,
okay,
80 years. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you knew right now they came out with something, and you basically could take something that would keep you alive, let's say for 1,000 years.
Ugh.
Okay, 1,000 years. Let's say. I mean, you could get killed by.
Right.
You know, a natural disaster or getting taken out by a car wreck or whatever.
But this is like health-wise,
you
won't
won't
live 1,000 years.
1,000 years. Would it change anything for you as far as how you lived your life? Because a lot of people are like, go, go, go. I don't have long on this earth, man. I have to work.
Well,
or would you find yourself maybe being more patient?
If I were a vampire and I lived 1,000 years, this is so stupid.
Great
because here's the
conversation.
thing, in Scripture it talks about like 1,000 years is like a day is like 1,000 years to the Lord. It's still a vapor. Like our life it would still be a vapor, man. It would still be so short.
When you put it up against eternity, sure.
Yeah. And so, I mean, but 1,000 years, how would it look different? Look at how culture has shifted in the last like decade, last 20 years. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be around for all that. I don't want to live that long.
Wow. So you wouldn't take the serum?
No.
Wow.
Nah, man. To live as Christ, to die as gain.
What if
I'm
your
not
kids
even
are
Jesus juking it for real.
Okay, you could be around for your great grandchildren. No?
Yeah, if the Lord tarries, but I mean, I don't know, man.
My whole thing is, you're right. To eternity, it's like this is a vapor for sure.
Yeah.
And why not try to get as much out of this time here on earth as we can? You know, if we could live 1,000 years before we go be with Jesus, okay. Again, you just compared it. It's still just a vapor.
Yeah.
So why would you want to shorten that vapor?
Man.
And would you live your life any differently? Because I was thinking about that, and I think think I probably would. You know? I mean, would people be more patient with their time instead of just needing to
But in
go,
excess
go, go?
of it, I think on the flip side, sometimes we can abuse it because they're like, I got all the time in the world.
Yeah, true.
So, 1,000 years? No, thanks. Nah, man, that ain't me.
As I get closer to death,
Okay.
I definitely have changed my attitude towards dying. I used to always be like, I want to live to be 65. In fact, I made a
Are you just talking about death because of like crazy emails?
No,
Crazy
no.
people?
No, I was
because
talking
of
about
the
death
radio
'cause-
station, like.
No.
Okay.
I was talking about like when I look in the mirror and I see wrinkles and gray hair, and then when I put a Snapchat filter on, I immediately I feel so young and vibrant because it takes away all of those
Question for
stress
Dex.
marks.
505
Is this a survival question?
Yeah, actually, technically it is. Would you really want to live 1,000 years in this world and in this current culture?
Yes.
Ugh. Looper says, no way, man. I can't wait till God is finished with me here and calls me home. I love my kids and my family and all, but come on. Heaven, man! All caps.
I used to feel that way, and now it's different. It's changed.
Katie says, think of all the stuff you could learn in 1,000 years.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Stacy says, no thanks.
You know, you wouldn't have to retire when you're 65 or 70, you know?
You could work for 700 years.
And then you retire.
Talk about needing like a retirement plan.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? You're like, well, I'm going to live for 1,000 years. Man, this 401k is not going to cut it. I got like 10 years on this. I got to go back to work at 200? No.
It's like every century you
like
could
the more we talk about it, the more I'm just like, that's gross. No.
Guys, but that could be the future, man. They're like right there. They're figuring out how to reverse the aging process. They're doing it in mice. Most likely it's going to happen with humans very soon.
Somebody said, why are we assuming in heaven we can't do whatever we would be doing for that 1,000 years here on this earth without the heartache of this world? My first thought was, how much of a better musician could I be with 1,000 years experience? But if I could play music in heaven, I get more than 1,000 years to get better. Lisa says, my grandpa is 104 and truly, I don't want to live that long. He is healthy, but incredibly tired.
Okay, but
but again,
you're looking at a
magic pill.
You're looking at it wrong. Okay, when you get to be 104 with the reverse aging process, you're not going to feel 104. Your body isn't going to be physically broken down because you're 104 years old. No, you're going to, let's say you, right now, Steve-O, you could be you for 1,000 years.
Okay, see, somebody said I'd want to live for 1,000 years but look like I'm 21 the whole time. So does the pill do that?
See, I don't know how far back it takes you, bro.
Oh, really?
I don't know
Okay.
how the reversing process works.
Somebody else said Dex likes the idea of 1,000 years because maybe in that time he might be able to finish everything on Netflix.
And I actually Googled that, and it's impossible to do.
Oh,
Nobody's ever done it.
Because content's still going to keep coming
Right.
out. Yeah, it's never ending.
Every month.
Oh, the overwhelming. Never mind. That's wrong. That's different.
By the way, I was watching this new show, this new documentary on Netflix. It's on killers in prison.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Phones are going crazy.
No, I'm not answering.
Not
the
answering
phone.
today. You
I
have a thumb, man.
I thought I already.
See,
went over
Lillian
this.
says, but imagine all of the sins to answer for in 1,000 years of a life. Like for real. We're constantly growing, right? But I mean, earlier in the show, we were talking about a dude who was fired for something he said 10 years prior on Twitter. Horrible things. Unexcusable things. But that was like a decade before and how much he had changed over the course of that decade. And now we're talking about 1,000 years. Can you imagine like having to answer for everything? Like
Yeah.
so on social media or like, no, man, I'm good. I am good.
Do you think it would change how we?
You're
like,
just trying to avoid robes. That's what somebody said.
You know what? Good call. You're right. You got me. Do you think it would change how we the whole formula of how we do things here in America? You know, the American dream of
maybe
graduate high
You
school,
work
got
till
to go
you're
to college,
300.
get out, get a job, get a family, retire at like 65, and then just ride it out until you die at 85 or 90 and call it a day. If you knew you
Instead.
could live to 1,000,
10 times that.
you know?
Oh.
And you know what? When I get to 200, I'll go to college. You know, I'm gonna live my first 100 years just kind of doing whatever I want.
No.
200, I'll get serious about my life. Or heck, at 500, I'll start getting serious about my life. Man, think of all the knowledge, all of the things you'll see, especially with technology. Oh man, we're gonna miss out on, like, I'm kind of jealous of my kids because I feel like they're like gonna see some things that we're not gonna see because we're so close to the end, you know? And they're gonna witness some pretty incredible things.
Sure.
Or scary.
You're
things.
not, yeah, exactly. I'm like, you're not convincing me
Or scary
at
things.
all. At all.
I'd take the serum. Inject me.
Answer the phone, bro. You can answer it and then keep your thumb right
You know
there.
what, Steve-O?
I'm serious about my.
Turn your radio down, please.
Hello.
What's going on, guys?
Hola.
So here's my thought on this. I think the more fun we have, the faster time flies.
Yes.
And we keep talking about that, and I think that's the scary part, that sometimes we're living such a great life and we're really, really enjoying ourselves. But, man, it sure seems like yesterday was February, and, you know, here we're going into Halloween already in October, and it just flies by. But it's because we're living an amazing life. And I honestly would think that, yeah, I'm ready, though, any day for, you know, God to collect me. So I kind of look at it both ways. It's amazing. I want more of it, but I'm ready anyway. So I think you can have both. But it is scary when you notice it's just going and going and going, and you're like, what happened?
Right. Yeah, think about it. You know, I'll never forget sitting with my grandpa when he was 82, 83 years old. He was in a wheelchair, and this was, you know, about a year or two before he passed away. And I just was having the conversation with him about his life and just asked him, you know, how he felt. And he said, you know, my mind feels strong like a 30-year-old's mind, but my body feels like it's 100 years old. And he just couldn't get around anymore. As you know, my grandma had to push him around in the wheelchair, and his quality of life was terrible. But he started thinking about all the things that he did in his life, all the regrets that he had, and he had this fear. I'll never forget. He had this fear of, he knew he was going to face God very soon. Like, he was going to stand before the creator of the universe any minute. Any minute. Like, he knew, like, his days were numbered. Like, it was coming the time that he was going to see God, and he had this fear. And I think it was like a healthy fear, but it's like, wow, I'm going to see God Almighty, you know? And yeah, go ahead.
And I think that's the part where I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, it's beautiful. Even though I'm young, I'm 43, and I'm anxious. I'm anxious. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Of course, I want to spend more time with my girls and my fam, but it really comes down to, man, how exciting is that, you know, to see him and to have made it. So, like I said, I think it always goes both ways, but it also comes down to your health. And like you said, I right now I'm on this track of trying to stay as healthy as I can for as long as I can, because I want to be able to be around healthy and for as long as I can during those years. And it makes a difference, but no matter what, it's definitely flying by.
No, it is. And as you get older and older, it gets faster and faster. That's what they say, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know what? Thanks, guys, for having me on. And I'm sure your grandfather met him beautifully.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a great day, guys.
You too. Just think about how overpopulated the world would be with your stupid bill.
Yeah, I'm not buying into that overpopulated thing. You know how much room is available here on Earth? If you ever drove around the country, there's no way that we can overpopulate the Earth. So I'm sorry, I'm just not buying into that propaganda. Yeah. Get out of here with that. Not buying it. Not buying it. Cities will become taller, not wider. Write that down.
What?
I don't know. It just sounded very prophetic. I don't know.
Dude, this topic.
It's a great topic, man. You know, if you could take a serum that would make you live to be, you know, around 1,000 years old.
No way.
Oh, the old people in the Bible, man, are Noah. He lived to be what,
That's
900?
a different time, though. We're talking about a completely different time. this culture?
You would
want to
live in
this
Noah's culture, bro?
Sure. Give me that culture for
Wow,
1,000 years.
bro.
I will take that culture for 1,000, Alex.
Isn't that with like the demons were like mating with humans, like the Nephilim? You want to live in that time, bro?
I hate you so much.
Okay.
I can't say anything.
I'm being
Why
serious.
are you so antagonistic this
I'm
morning?
being serious, man. You want to live like God destroyed the earth because it was so bad. Like he flooded the earth. You want to live in that time?
No.
You think you'd make the
No,
cut on
I'm
Noah's
just trying
Ark?
to like wrap my mind around you actually wanting to exist for that long. Romans 8:23-25. We groan as we wait for Christ's return. I want this fixed. I don't want 1,000 years of it. I wait with patience, but in hope that this world is redeemed. He also said, nope, this world is terrible. Heaven, please. Yeah. Yep.
Isn't I'm kind of blown away in shock that I've changed. I've changed my tune. My tune used to be exactly what you guys are saying, man. Yeah, take me home. 65 is the age I want to get taken out. I don't know, man. I don't feel that way anymore. You know, I feel like we should be striving every day to make the world better, you know?
Yeah. Dude.
Sharing the love of Christ.
Amen.
I don't want my life, you know, to the bitter end. I hope I'm sharing the love of Christ, you know, till my dying breath. That's my hope. And gosh, 80, 85 years just doesn't sound like a whole lot of time.
Do you think that the fear of death would actually feel any different at 999 years old rather than 99 years old?
See, that's the thing. I don't think I have a fear of death at all.
No, I know, but that's a question that Looper had. Like, fear of death won't change regardless how old you are.
Yeah. It probably
Well, we don't because
get
we have a
harder.
great promise, you know, like, so.
Yeah, I think it would get harder at that age. If you were 90 years old. You know?
Great topic, bro.
It is a great topic.
Dude, I can't with this.
What's your favorite Snapchat filter?
Woo!
Is
Stop
the
it.
topic?
That's not the topic.
Would you get plastic surgery to look like your favorite
No,
Snapchat
that's
filter?
actually sadly the topic. According to Newsweek, people are doing that.
That's right, everybody.
Unbelievable. No, you know what? Totally believable.
Mm-hmm. All right, 505-338-3700 if you'd like to chime in. We're also hanging out on Facebook and YouTube Live at Star 88 FM. We'll be right back. Hang out.
I'm Heidi, and here's what's happening. Sagebrush Church is planning a medical mission trip to Nicaragua November 11th through the 18th. They hope to serve the need of long-term development through meeting the needs of the local church and providing a much-needed medical clinic. They're looking for healthcare professionals of all skill levels. However, medical experience isn't required. Join Expect a Miracle ABQ for a back-to-school bash August 11th at 1 p.m. at the Northwest Modular Skate Park. There will be a skate competition, live music, food trucks, free games, and more. There will also be 100 free backpacks for the first 100 guests. If you know about an event coming up in your community or maybe a back-to-school event happening at your church, let us know. We'll talk about it on the air and feature it on our website. All you have to do is fill out the form online at star88.fm. For more information about events happening in your community and so much more, visit star88.fm. For what's happening, I'm Heidi, and this is Star 88.
Dietrich Bonhoeffer reminds us that silence in the face of evil is itself evil. God will not hold us guiltless. Not to speak is to speak. Not to act is to act. Star 88 with a solar flare.
Don't like the way that I've become, living with nothing changing. I found a strength to stop the lies and give my life new meaning. What's the use? what you please, you are what you choose. Who will it be? You say I'm strong, but I'm weak. Don't need a thing, but I need you right now. You right now. You say I'm strong, but I'm weak. Don't need a thing, but I need you right now.
Jesus is our King, but do you treat him like royalty? Here's Tim Keller on a Star 88 PowerPoint.
The Bible doesn't say people are hostile toward the concept of God or toward the idea of God. No, no, no. But the Bible says people hate the biblical God. You see, it's the biblical God that thunders from Mount Sinai and says, "Be holy, for I am holy. Have no other gods before me." It's the God who thunders and says, "I will by no means clear the guilty." Or it's the God who sets, the biblical God gives us the Messiah, and the Messiah shows up, and what does the Messiah say? He said, "You cannot be my disciple unless you hate your mother and father." You know what that means? He says, "You must love me so much that any feelings you have toward anyone else will look like hatred by comparison. That's how much you have to love me. I have to be supreme in your life."
That's the PowerPoint with Tim Keller on Star 88.
What's going on in the news today?
Rick Gates, the prosecution's star witness in Paul Manafort's financial fraud trial, is on the stand.
The Trump administration's reimposing sanctions on Iran.
There's been a very high number of shootings in Chicago over the past few days.
A police officer shot in Philadelphia while serving a warrant.
Republican Senator Rand Paul met in Moscow with senators on Russia's International Affairs Committee.
Police in rural New Mexico rescued 11 children living in a makeshift compound with no running water or electricity. They say it looks like the kids were third world refugees.
Facebook says it's taken down 4 pages belonging to Alex Jones for violating its hate speech and bullying policies.
YouTube removed his official channel for the same reasons.
Apple confirmed its iTunes platform will no longer offer 5 podcast series hosted by Jones.
Spotify also took every episode of the Alex Jones Show podcast from its streaming platform.
Pepsi's long-serving chief, Indra Nooyi, is stepping down.
The Hawaiian Islands are preparing for a hurricane. Hector is projected to track south of the state.
At least one CBS star is expressing support for Les Moonves, Candace Bergen.
He pays attention when women speak. I would hate to see him go down.
What's up, everybody? Dex and Steve-O, live from the Dreamstyle Remodeling Star 88 Studios. How's your Tuesday? How you feeling? You guys can chime in. We're on Facebook and YouTube, live, Star 88 FM. We also have a podcast. We're on demand. If you guys want to download the show, we're on iTunes, SoundCloud. You can go to star88.fm and download the show there. You guys can also download the Star 88 app and stream us live or get us on demand through the app as well. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, guys. It's Chris's Mike. How you doing?
Chris's Mike!
What's up, brah?
Not a lot. I've been listening. I know you guys have been having a little bit of a rough morning, so I just wanted to call in and encourage you guys. You guys are awesome. You're doing a great service to the state of New Mexico and around our country, around our world. And I just appreciate you guys, how you handle things with grace and do the best you can. And you can't control everybody, but we love you and we're with you and we're for you and yeah, keep doing what you're doing.
Sounds like we're getting fired.
Nope,
Yeah.
definitely not.
Okay.
I'll talk to Chippers for you.
All right, perfect.
Thanks,
I
man.
got you.
Thanks, dude.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he'll listen to me, but I'll do my best.
Hey, later, bro. Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I mean, I'm having a great morning. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's been a rough morning at all. You know? We have a great topic going on, you know? Snapchat filters. Would you want to live to be 1,000 years old? I mean, come on. Some great quality topics for you.
Yeah.
You know what? Stop.
What?
Get off of there.
Huh?
Steve,
it's like a train wreck.
We get one terrible email, and it throws you completely off.
Yeah.
You're off your game, bro.
I know.
Come on, man. Get back in it.
It's always very frustrating.
I get it. But come on. You can't control what other people say or do.
Mm.
When are you going to realize this? You know?
That's true. but where's the line drawn when it becomes
you know what?
slanderous?
You want to talk about it.
Horrible.
Do you feel like you need to talk about it on the air? I'm
No,
all about it. I got your
no,
back, bro.
no,
Let's do
no,
it.
thank you. No, thank you.
Okay.
No, thank you.
I feel like you want to, though.
No.
Some people just don't get it. Some people are just, they don't see things the way other people see them. And they'll never, ever see them. It doesn't matter if you're sitting there trying to convince them. You're just never going to see it.
Thank you.
Know what I'm saying?
Thanks, Dad.
Got you, dude.
Got you, dude.
Yeah, IHOP's stupid IHOP.
I saw this.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh my gosh, stupid, never going back. Yeah. That little stunt quadrupled their burger sales.
Isn't that weird? Everybody's mocking them.
I know.
We totally were like, this is the stupidest thing.
This is so dumb. It'll never work.
Quadrupled their sales, guys.
Yeah, who's laughing now?
Probably not the people who actually ingested one of those burgers.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Oh, man.
That is a good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought I'd let you guys know about that because it's pretty good, you know?
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, wait, Donald Trump is going to run for president? Wait, what? Huh? He's our president? What? It's crazy. Never know, man.
You never know.
Don't mock the 1,000 years, dude.
Okay.
It might happen.
Yeah.
It might happen.
Mm-hmm.
And while I look young and vibrant, holding you in my arms when you're just brittle and frail and dying, you're going to wish you had taken the serum, but it would be too late. It would be too late. You had to take the serum before you were 65.
Okay.
And now you're 90.
And I'll
dying.
see you, man. I'll see you in heaven. And guess what? It's going to be glorious for me instantaneously. And for you, those years are going to go by so
fast.
Slowly.
Be very fast.
1,000 years,
Yeah,
man.
dude.
1,000 years.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a little bit about life 1,000 years ago.
Are you going to Google life 1,000 years ago?
Yeah.
See what it was like?
Yeah. So the year would be 1018.
Okay. What was life like back in 1018?
Well, it was a common year starting on a Wednesday.
Okay.
In Europe, in January of that year, Emperor Henry II signed a peace treaty with the Duke of Poland, ending the
that's cool.
German-Polish
Nice.
War. Yeah. In Asia, the Khitan forces of the Liao dynasty invaded North Korea.
Wow.
Goryeo forces, led by General Gengamchan, they annihilated the Khitan army at Kusong. Let's see. In our religion, Buckfast Abbey near, what is it? Buckfastleigh.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It was founded as a Benedictine monastery in England in the year 1018.
Gosh,
Let's
it
see. I
sounds
can't
really
seem to find
boring.
anything about America. Oh, that's right, because we didn't exist for like 500 more years.
What's
no,
your
I just
point?
said that, and I just offended our friends that live here who were here before Columbus.
Thank you.
I don't mean to be offensive.
Thank you.
Yes. Sorry, guys. No, according to Wikipedia, nothing happened. It was really boring, and you want to live in that.
We live in a different time, bro.
That's right.
Things are crazier now. Things are happening. Technology's insane.
It is. No, thank you.
No, thank you?
No,
All
thank
right.
you.
Well,
No,
you have
thank
fun
you.
with your robe. All right? You have fun with your white robe, and I'll enjoy all my different outfits down here, okay?
Yes.
Even though I don't have much of a wardrobe.
Okay.
At least I get to change it up every day. Just saying.
All right.
Speaking of old, okay, I think this ties right in because we're talking about how we need to live our lives to the fullest because we just never know when the end will come. I mean, we could die today, or we could be 85 years old and living in a nursing home. You and I looking at each other going, man, I wish we would have taken more risks, more chances, right?
Sure.
Well, let's say we were in a nursing home, okay?
You and I?
You and I.
Oh,
you know,
dude.
we live in Germany.
You and I should make a pact.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We'll live in the nursing home together?
To bring salvation back.
Okay, yeah.
Because, dude, where there is love, I'll be there.
Okay, all right.
Don't you know?
I got you, man. I got you.
Baby, yeah.
Let's say we lived in a nursing home.
Okay.
And I said to you, Steve-O, why don't we get out of here? Go have some fun. The Whackin' Open Air Festival is happening right now. What do you say we bolt out of here? Let's get out of this nursing home.
I'm sorry, the what?
The Whackin' Open Air Festival, you know. It's in Schleswig-Holstein, Germany.
Okay, that's why this story is happening.
It's their world's biggest heavy metal festival. It's going down. You want to get out of this nursing home, bro? This is an actual real-life story. The staff at a nursing home in Germany panicked late on Friday night when they realized 2 men had escaped. Okay. Are you a prisoner at a nursing home? Answer me that question.
Are you a prisoner?
Yeah, because the staff at a nursing home in Germany panicked late on Friday night when they realized 2 men had escaped. Like,
quote unquote escaped.
You're not allowed to leave?
I mean,
like you're like stuck there?
Dude, welcome to the Hotel California.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Wrong festival.
Nursing homes
Wrong
are prisons,
festival.
guys. I think
No,
we
they're
just
not.
realized
Shut
that.
up,
They
dude.
are. I mean, I get it. If you can't like walk or wheel yourself out, I get it.
Katie says she loves how you want to grow old with me, buddy.
Oh.
That's true. I need to take this.
Steve doesn't want to. He wants
Yes,
to die.
I
He wants to
know,
die. He's so
okay.
young at like 90. I want to live to be like 989. All right, anyway, so these 2 guys escaped from the nursing home. So the staff called the police, and the cops eventually found the 2 old guys at 3 a.m. They were at the Whackin' Open Air Festival, the world's biggest heavy metal festival. Literally hundreds of bands at this festival. The cops say when they found the men, they were, quote, disoriented and dazed. But they did not want to leave. Well, the cops made them leave, and now they're back in prison. I mean, the nursing home. Now, as I read this story, we just found out nursing homes are prisons, which we need to look into that. That's crazy. Maybe it's a German thing. I don't know. But that's a little weird. As you go into your day, and I'm speaking to the old people out there. We have many elderly people in the Stormy. We need you to take advantage of every moment, okay?
Yeah, dude.
Get out. Go see a concert.
No, shut up.
What?
Here's the reason why. Because people are chiming in and saying, but you have to keep in mind that some people have mental health issues or maybe dementia onset, different things. And so they could get lost if they just take off.
That's a
So
great
yes,
point.
they are not, quote unquote, allowed to leave because they are under the care and supervision of these places.
There's nothing in the story that says anything about that.
I'm just saying.
These 2 men got up together and were like, we're going to the festival. We're going to the rock concert. And they had a good time until 3 a.m.
Man. Kim says it's like a hospital. You can't just leave, man. Even go to a rock concert.
You can't leave?
Man.
You're not allowed to leave? That scares me, man. Ugh.
You
should be able to leave, dude.
Are you okay, man? You have like so much anxiety today with like getting old and like being.
I do, man. I don't know what's going on with me. I totally get it. If you have some mental things going on, yeah, you don't want them walking out and everything. I get it. But, man, if you just live in a nursing home, like Graham Peachy just got put in a nursing home.
Okay.
She's 100 years old.
Yeah. That's what happens.
Her mind's great.
Okay. See, but not everybody's like that. On the flip side, my wife's grandmother, Grandma Precious, she fell and she broke her hip and she had to She had to have surgery recently, and she's in a rehab facility, but her mind's not what it was. She's 92. And so she'll wake up in this rehab facility and not remember why she's there. And they have to remind her, like, hey,
yeah,
you just had surgery. You can't be
that.
doing these
I
things.
get it. You probably should. You probably should.
It's different.
Tie them down. Make sure they don't walk off. You know, I get it. But if you're just in a nursing home because
Like,
you're old,
at that age, somebody wants to know, like, logistically, how do you headbang? Like at a rock concert, is it more just like nodding?
Nodding,
Like, they're just
yeah.
kind of like in agreement.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think you can. But who knows, man? Maybe they're in good health.
I can't even go to rock concerts at my age. We went to go see Brian Head Welch when he was here performing with Korn, and my ears rang for like 3 days. Oh, man. I will not be the guy sneaking out with you at 90 to go to the rock concert.
Come on, man.
Sorry, man.
Come on. We got to get out of here.
I'm
we
so
have to
sorry.
get out, man. Seriously.
Thebe says metal till I die. I actually was listening to Chasing Victory on the way in, great Christian like metal band this morning on the way in.
Yeah?
Some O Sleeper. Yeah, I don't know why it was. I woke up with like metal on my brain. Yeah.
I'm looking at some of these questions. Is headbanging dangerous? When it's talking about the whacking.
Well, yeah, like think about
whacking
that.
your head.
Yeah, your neck. I couldn't do that.
It actually is. I actually heard I heard a doctor talk about it, and yeah, when you're headbanging, your brain sits in water inside of your skull. So when you're headbanging, your brain is constantly hitting the side of your skull, and just that little bit of bruising.
Uh-huh.
Why are you looking at me? I'm trying to be serious. I'm trying to
I know you
educate
are.
you.
You're trying to get inside the mind of like these 90-year-olds who snuck out to go to a heavy metal show.
Yeah.
We are on the education band. We are currently this isn't
educating.
entertaining. This is educational right now.
When you laugh,
we are
it
educating the
takes away
elderly.
all of my,
Why not to go to metal concerts in your older age? Because the brain is like in a bathtub, man.
It
it's like
is.
swimming,
It's just-
sloshing around in water.
It is.
And if you
You'll bruise it.
headbang
It's
too
like a piece of
hard-
fruit, dude.
Okay.
When you drop a piece of fruit, what happens? It bruises. That's what your brain does, man. Same thing. You get CTE. I got it from football, man.
But what happens when you're like the metal guy in the band that's like still doing those things? Like, do you think we'll see that?
Oh, yeah.
Like the elderly actually on stage performing still?
Look at Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, but I mean like people that love. Yeah.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
I was trying to think of like metal bands that I was listening to, like Oh Sleeper, Micah, he's the lead singer. Homie loves him some Jesus and screaming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering if we'll see people like that, like in their older age, like just rocking metal.
Probably. You know? I don't see why not.
I mean,
I guess if they're popular enough. Because you see all the big popular bands that were huge when we were younger, and now they're playing like casinos. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. It's really weird.
Yeah. I mean, good for them. They're still doing it. Still doing what they love, but come on. They were playing arenas. Now they're playing like the fair.
Yeah.
Like who would you say was playing the fair the other day?
I don't want to say because we actually in our music moment
Oh, that's
yesterday
right.
talked about him. And
Toby
the funny thing
Mac.
is, I got hit up by a couple different people. Who were like, dude, I'm not normally a Toby guy, but that song you guys like played a clip of yesterday, it's pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was playing in Farmington yesterday.
That's crazy.
At the old county fair in Farmington, New Mexico. Toby
yeah,
Mac.
I guess.
Or Lovington. Sorry, not
Lovington?
Farmington. Lovington. South, not north.
He played a fair. I guess if you got the cash to throw down, it doesn't matter how big you are. I mean,
Yeah, why not?
throw down.
Somebody said the adrenaline I get from my brain hitting my skull repeatedly and the music combined is why I get so pumped at concerts, man.
No,
Yeah.
that's not it at all.
No? Okay. Yeah. It's horrible.
Yeah, headbanging's bad, guys. It's
It
not
is.
good for your brain. you
People
know?
are chiming in with the elderly metal bands now. But it's like, have you seen these artists? They can barely walk. Kim was mentioning Ozzy. He can barely walk, much less like try and get around.
Yeah.
All
It's
those
true.
years of abuse, as we were talking earlier, consequences of like things in your past.
drugs.
You're still dealing with the like earthly consequences of what that does to your body physically.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, and hopefully some of us that aren't old yet, we haven't reached that, what would you say, 60, 58, 59, 60, is that old? I mean, it's too late for you guys, but for us, I mean, I'm 39, guys.
I hate that line of thinking, man.
I'm so young. I'm 39.
No, you know what? That's probably why I'm most frustrated this morning, because of a topic of conversation we had and the idea of somebody not having the ability to change. You know what I'm saying? Like, or it's too late for this person, or that you've gone too far, you've done too much. And we serve a God of redemption and restoration. It's never too late. You want to be 90 and headbang? You do that. You want to serve God in your old age, even though you live an entire life of stupidity? Guess what? You can do that. Paul was murdering Christians. And he's like, just kidding. I'm going to write 2/3 of the New Testament through the inspiration of the Holy Spirit. Stop saying people can't change.
I feel like the next 4 minutes, you just need to get it out.
No, man, I'm good.
No, keep going, bro.
No.
You're on a roll, dude.
No, I'm good.
Make it happen.
No, dude, that's good. We're good. We did it. We did it. We did it.
What was I talking about? I totally had a great thing.
No, you're talking about how it was too late for 60-year-olds. It's not too late. It's never too late.
That's true. Oh, I was talking about how young I am. 39, guys. I am so young. I still have time to reverse all of the bad that I did when I was eating McDonald's every day and drinking Cokes. I can reverse it. In fact, I think I have. 3 months later, and I'm like basically 22 years old again. I'm 39, but my body's 22. I reversed it. Yeah. And I'm sorry if you're over the age of 60 and you can't reverse that. I'm kidding. You probably can.
I mean, you can't reverse the effects of aging. Like,
your body you can. That's actually scientifically proven.
No, that's not.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Let's say you've smoked for many, many years. If you decide to quit, it's amazing how your liver and your lungs, everything can actually heal itself.
That's actually, I agree with that.
Your body can heal itself.
I agree with that.
If you make a change.
So make a change. That's what today's all about.
Are you going to make a change?
Making a change. No matter where you are, no matter where you've been, no matter what you said, no matter what you've done.
That's right, man.
You can make a change.
You can make a change. Yep, there are consequences for your actions, but
that's right.
We can make a change, and we can make a difference. I'm going to go for a run now.
Are you?
No, I actually have to leave.
Oh, okay.
Family stuff,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Guys, if you missed any of the show this morning, huge show. We had our girl Amy join us in the 6 o'clock hour. We talked it was
health, well-being.
Yeah, that was probably the best right there. You have to go back on demand and listen to that hour because, we just talked about health and how we make that change. How is it when you are down in the dumps and depressed and life is just bulldozed you over? How do you get up and make it happen? We talked about it. All right. iTunes, YouTube, Facebook. You guys can go back and watch, listen to the show. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye.
That's all we got. There ain't no more. That's right. Time is tight. It's the end of the show.
Evangel Christian Academy is a private school that is Christ-centered for tomorrow's leaders. With affordable tuition, small classes, a great sports program, and a secure facility, Evangel strives to equip students for the work God has for them. Our high school utilizes dual credit through C&M by offering 4 courses on our academy campus taught by our staff. Evangel uses a leadership-driven